Go straight home and wash your hands. It is 5:46. I'm Danny Bonaduce. This is KZOK. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I may not sound it, but I'm great.
Good. You know, I mistook another car for your Kia down there, and it looked just like it to me, except when I saw it and took a closer look, it's about $40,000 more money than your car. That's really a good deal. That Kia is a thing.
Yeah.
You guys, congratulations on
Well,
it.
and then I was upset that you thought that was my car because that person was taking up 2 parking spaces.
Yeah, they were. I didn't realize that they were because they're next to a post, but yeah, they were. I think you said you thought I was that car parked like an ass, and I said, I don't know if he's parked like an ass. Oh, no, he's parked like an ass. So, morning, Paul.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So, yesterday, I'm outside playing around watering bushes. I've become so damn domestic, it's frightening.
Really?
So, Amy and I are playing in the front yard, whatever it is. And it's time she's going to check her little free library, and which have sprouted up all over Queen Anne, all over the country. I guess I saw it on the news a year ago.
Yeah.
People putting up these free libraries. So, people put in books, a lot of Tom Clancy, a lot of, is it Danielle Kuntz? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so books a lot like that. Sometimes more serious books, sometimes school books, and then sometimes baby books, but never this. That's to show you it's a big book and not a kidding around book. And it says, and I can't even read part of it, it says, Women's Anatomy of Arousal.
Oh.
That's what I said. That's not what Amy said. Amy did not go.
No?
No.
It's a little bit strange to put in someone's free library.
Well, yes, that is a lot, but you know, who knows? It's a book. There's nothing wrong with this book. It's a book. I'll put it in there to give it. Nope. You do not want to be the guy that hosted this book. Here, open any page, Paul.
Okay.
Are there pictures?
Oh, yeah. And they're not nice and pretty. They're clinical and gross.
Are they actual photos or are they hand-drawn?
No, there's...
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, told you.
Sorry, you do not want to zoom in on this page. But I might look at it for a while.
Paul, is it a picture or is it a hand drawing?
These are photographs.
Oh, they are.
Several
They
of
are
them.
photographs.
And these are close-ups.
I don't need to see that.
No, you don't need
I'm
to
sure
do it.
you've seen that before.
Who knows? But anyway, it was, as unnerving as the pictures are.
That's my favorite page.
Their contents. Oh my God!
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you guys have seen that before too.
She needs to see a doctor. Anyway, I don't want to be the guy hosting that book. That book is now officially out of the library. Little kids go there. They even say in the directions how to build it. Don't build it higher than a 6-year-old can reach, or something like that.
Oh, that's smart. That's great. Like promote reading.
Yeah, right. No, that's the whole point of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, getting involved with your neighborhood is the whole point. There's a lot of whole points to this thing, but one of them is not getting pictures like that in the hand of your 7-year-old, because then here's what happens next. Did you put this in that library on the street where little Timmy could get it?
And it's right at your house, right?
Yeah, it's right at eye level for me, too.
Oh, so everybody's going to assume that...
We did something that most people don't, that Amy was insistent on, not for some kind of neat reason, but just the way that she wanted the little free library to face. And it's actually on our property.
Yeah.
Most little free libraries, you skip the cement sidewalk, and then it's there in that part that the city actually technically owns.
That makes sense.
And it faces back at your house. I don't know why Amy wanted to face out on the street, but it does. So there's no missing whose house has the porno book, which is, and I don't want to be the porno guy. I've told you guys a million times that I think I get signs. And sometimes I follow them when I get signs. So I thought I was getting signs yesterday, and not yesterday, a couple of days ago, and then it took me a couple of days to put together. And the sign was, here's the meaning of it, not the actual specific sign, was, you should probably go back to church soon. That's what it seemed to me that I was getting. So I said, Amy, you want to go to church? Yeah, okay. Because I think she thinks anytime I go into a church that I'm going to come back out somebody just way better than went in. I think she thinks that's what's going to happen. We went in. What was the name? It was really nice. Everybody was I think it was called Cornerstone.
I've heard of them.
Super nice. Everybody was really nice in a sense. Nobody actually spoke to us, which is cool. I don't, they do a thing. I don't know when the last time you were at church, but a lot of times they do this. Now turn around and greet your neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
Worse than that, often, turn around and tell your neighbor that you love them.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's a thing. You got to do it. It's in the Bible somewhere, I guess. So I felt like I was getting strange looks. Now I'm used to strange looks. They're part of my life. They're how everything's been going for 50 years. There's more looks one day than the next, one decade than the next, but there's always looks. Well, since I shaved my head, way less looks.
Because you're less recognizable.
If they're radio show listeners, and I say, "Hi, it's nice to be here," they go, "Oh, you must be Danny Bonaduce," which is amazing how they do it. And then I realize, man, my sign should have been more specific. So I go in, everybody's nice, would love to make that clear. But it dawns on me, the reason people seem to be, maybe I'm just being sensitive, I'm at least twice everybody's age.
Really?
Yeah. I'm the pastor's daddy.
Oh, wow.
Well, I don't like the way that sounds. Yeah, that's, I'm going straight to hell now.
I think that's in that book, though.
I think there's some kind of like rules, like never get older than Jesus. On your 33rd birthday, you got to run. Can't come to church anymore. But I went in. It was a big eventful day. So I got my soul cleansed, or whatever it was that I was doing that day. And it came from the sign. I was going to tell you this. It came from Anthony Hopkins on my phone. Now, I know Anthony Hopkins because he would be the guest lecturer at the rehab I was in 2000, maybe it was. And it says how he quit drinking and how his life got so much easier the second he trusted in God. And well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to church. He should have said old guy church. and he didn't. So I went. I felt good about myself for having gone. So you know what I did?
What?
I bought a dozen oysters for me and the little woman. You ever shuck oysters?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
It is stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Why would you ever do it?
It's a lot of work.
Too hard.
It's a ton of work, man. You're scooping out goo and you know you're crunching rock into it. And that, I kept saying, are these called rockfish? I know something called rockfish. Is this a rockfish? Because they're in a rock. And she goes, no, honey, you're on drugs. There's rock shrimp. And then, oh, we have a coworker named Rockfish, don't we?
Yeah.
I have a whole new, I'm proud of that guy. Could you imagine just going up to people? He doesn't count you. They say, hi, Steve. He goes, hi, I'm Rockfish. The balls it would take to be a rockfish. And he does it. And I admire it. And I was thinking, I was thinking lead pencil. Do you like lead pencil?
I don't love lead pencil. I like it. I don't love it.
It needs the same amount of syllables as rockfish because it's a good name, rockfish. That's rockfish. I'm lead pencil. Oh, no, that's not the same amount of syllables. I'm pencil. No, that sucks, pencil. I got a little lead in my pencil. No, that's setting the wrong way. I don't trust any of this, but I enjoyed my rockfish.
The Portland Police Bureau says 4 people were arrested during rowdy protests between right-wing activists and self-described anti-fascists over the weekend. The Bureau said in a statement that the officers seized multiple weapons throughout the day. The rally had been organized by Joey Gibson, who's the leader of the right-wing leaning group Patriot Prayer. It grew hundreds of supporters and then counter-protesters, heavy police presence, and things wound up getting pretty nasty when protesters threw rocks and bottles at police. Some people were injured when projectiles were being thrown into the rowdy protesters.
And don't forget rubber bullets, which that's one of the few things I've never done. I've never been shot with a rubber bullet, but it seems like that would hurt.
Yeah.
And there's been a guy killed. Guy took one to the eye.
They've had to stop calling it non-lethal weapons and call it less lethal because people started dying.
So you only die for like a while? It's much less lethal. It's lethal.
Less likely to be lethal, I guess they mean,
Yeah.
And in related news, Amazon says it has removed items with Nazi or white supremacist symbols from its website after criticism from advocacy groups. An Amazon executive said the company had blocked the account of some retailers and might suspend them. Some people over the past month have been complaining that Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos hadn't been taking an active enough role removing these items for sale from his website. And over the weekend, they said they have.
Is it just straight up sales guys that are selling like Nazi T-shirts or something?
When you're on Walmart or Amazon, they have what's called third-party vendors, and you could buy all sorts of stuff.
But they put that up on the Amazon website, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's somebody's job to. How hard can that be to notice? There's swastikas on our website.
And then not only did somebody have to notice it, but then someone had to point out to them, hey, guys, that's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad right there.
Well, some people say it's freedom of speech, and why can't they purchase that stuff through Amazon's website?
You know what? If you want to fight about it, I'd have to go with them. Really, now I didn't think about it. It's terrible. They should be arrested. I hate them all. Please die. But that's protected under the First Amendment, right?
But you don't have a First Amendment right to have your goods sold by someone else. You have a First Amendment right to make that shirt, to wear that shirt,
it, display it.
Yeah, but you don't have a First Amendment right for someone to force someone else to sell your goods.
A man who led police on a high-speed chase and crashed into a home told them he had a good reason. He had to poop.
That's a pretty good reason.
That's a great reason. You ever had that reason when you're about 8 miles from home? That's a big reason.
I didn't crash into some other dude's house, but yeah.
Yakima police said they first spotted 32-year-old Marlo Olney near 4th Street. He sped through a stop sign. They tried to pull him over, but he continued speeding. He crashed through a fence, then into an abandoned house. He then tried to run away. He said, well, I really have to go.
He didn't have to poop. There's a bathroom in that house.
He said, I really have to go. And I didn't have any brakes, so I couldn't pull over.
Okay, I think this guy's lying. There's every chance this young man is lying.
Things not right in Yakima this weekend.
How dare they?
And bad news in the national sector. The operation is underway to evacuate thousands of tourists after a deadly earthquake rocked some of Indonesia's most idyllic islands late last night. 98 people, all Indonesian nationals, were killed when the 6.9 magnitude earthquake struck a popular tourist island of Lombok, and more than 200 have been injured. The majority, they say, were killed when the quake hit, but then debris would fall from the sides of buildings.
Because there's no reason to die from an earthquake if you don't say fall down. If you're standing around, something has to kill you. It's just not the rolling and rumbling, right? The street light falling over.
Right. An estimated 20,000 people have been displaced by this massive earthquake.
Any tsunami?
Not yet. Fingers crossed. It made it seem like that was something we were
like you were hoping for. Not yet.
No, but after that one in Japan, it wasn't on the top of my radar.
Right.
Tsunamis. There was I probably couldn't have told you specifically what they were 5 years ago or something. Oh, they're a big wave and everybody be bummed. But I would, now we know what made them and stuff. They've been pushed upon us. I hear earthquake, I think tsunami almost right away.
The guy we talked about a bit, the man who killed the Houston cardiologist who had treated former President George H.W. Bush. And we talked about this crime. They finally figured out who did it. So the cardiologist was killed a month ago. They finally figured out who did it. And then they were searching for this man. And Friday, he fatally shot himself.
Oh.
Police confronted him to try to take him into custody. And he, before leaving any statements explaining his grudge and why he killed this man, killed himself in front of police.
But they do believe that's the reason. It was a grudge that he'd held for 20 years?
20 years.
Yeah.
They say that his mother was one of the cardiologist's patients who died more than 20 years ago. And they're saying they don't really understand, was there a malpractice suit? Was he negligent?
I don't think so. Mommy died on the table. He was the doctor. That's it. I'm mad. Who else am I going to blame? This, everybody likes their mommy. But you go to the hospital and you expect good care, and you probably, according to what I know about this doctor, you get good care. These things happen. You cry for a while, you get back to work. Going chasing your doctor down for 20 years, there's something way more wrong with that guy.
Really. More bad news in the news. 20 people were killed when a vintage plane carrying tourists on a panoramic flight crashed into a Swiss mountain. 3 crew, 17 passengers were on a sightseeing tour. They said the plane fell to the ground like stone. That's
the worst thing you can make a plane out of. If you're going to make a plane for carbon fiber, maybe rock. No, not rock. Don't use rock.
They said because it was a vintage plane, they don't believe it had a flight data recording system. So they may never figure out what went wrong.
You say vintage. Like my 1967 GTO convertible, when I had it, was a vintage car. Did they want a vintage plane, or is this just some old crappy plane and they ran a business out of it?
It was a World War II era plane, so I would hope that they had kept it up.
I'm sure you keep it up, but I mean
that was the purpose.
If you're willing to keep it up, that's what it costs you to own the cool plane. I'm just wondering if they couldn't afford a better gig. Because why are the windows better to look out of in a vintage plane?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I don't know why these guys were in a vintage plane. Seems silly.
Sweden's former highest peak has been taken down a few notches thanks to the heat wave currently scorching Europe. Until recently, a glacier perched atop the southern peak of the Kebnekaise Mountain
Sure.
Yeah.
rose higher than any other point in the country. Well, over the weekend, it melted so much, it's no longer the highest peak.
Let's say, I guess peak is cool because I would think that didn't count.
Because it's not the highest mountain.
It's not the highest mountain. So it's ice. If I go put a hat on top of the ice, is it now higher than it was before? Because I got some nice hats. It seems like they're cheating. Remember that horrible movie with Hugh Grant, the guy who went up the hill and came down a mountain?
Yeah.
No, it's terrible, man. I think that's what's happening here. I think Hugh Grant is involved with this.
I said for a lot of people, they want to climb the highest peak in every country, or sometimes here it's every state. Well, now people have to go back to Sweden and climb something else.
You got to do it over, even though it was the highest peak at the time?
Yep.
That, and by the way, if you're climbing the highest peaks in every state, in about 30 of those states, that would be a rock, right? In
true.
Nebraska?
Right.
I was thinking Kansas. Do they even
No,
quantify it?
no, man, you'd actually have to climb on the band Kansas to get to the highest point.
2 suspects have been detained after reportedly attempting to use a cat to smuggle drugs into a prison. The felon was caught with a special collar carrying 7 grams of hashish and methamphetamines into the prison. Now, the cat had reportedly lived in the yard of the prison. An inmate decided to take him home when he got released, and they said he wound up training this cat and took it back to its first home.
Yeah, prison.
He's like, God, take this over to see Steve.
If you whisper to the cat, does it help?
And I'm not sure why somebody in Russia's prison is named Steve.
I didn't even get that it was in Russia, man. I wasn't paying attention, I guess. That, you know what? I like the guy. A whole bunch.
That he is smuggling drugs into prison?
Yes! By trained cat?
Yeah,
Come
it's actually
on.
kind of smart.
Yeah, I think it's very cool. If you wanted to have a movie made about something in a Russian prison, I would go with partly at least that.
I mean, if you're going to be a weird Russian prison and allow cats to be in the yard and to come and go freely, it's not like they stop the cat at the entrance, you know.
That's true.
You're kind of asking for it. Right?
Yeah.
Text that word right now to 200-200, KZOK.com to find out all the details, and you will have more chances to win throughout the day.
Fun. Police say an Arkansas teenager accused of trying to steal a commercial jet told investigators he thought piloting the plane would just involve a little more than pushing some buttons and pulling levers. So this 18-year-old, Zamarcus Scott, wanted to fly. He wanted to go to a concert out of state. He said, all right, no car? We'll steal a plane. Be faster anyway. Well, he was inside the cockpit when he got busted. Turns out he had no idea how to pilot a plane.
But that doesn't seem to stop some people. Remember the Barefoot Bandit?
Well, he knew what he was doing. He had done like flight simulators online and stuff and taught himself how to fly a plane before
There's such a world of difference of sitting in your bedroom in your underwear cutting them.
He did all right.
He did great all the way.
Yeah.
I think he crashed them all. I think he crashed
wasn't great
every
at
single
landing.
plane. Yeah,
The landing
didn't work
wasn't.
Well, this guy did not practice any flight simulation. He had no idea what he was doing and busted just kind of sitting there. And they said it wasn't damaged. He could not figure out how to get it going at all.
I've thought about that before. I've seen it in movies, both planes and helicopters and things like that. And I finally decided, okay, I can't even find the ignition button. I don't know how to. But okay, so the pilot dies now.
Oh.
And the flight attendant says, hey, can anybody fly a plane? And nobody says yes. So I go, yeah, yeah, I can. Couldn't you take it from there? Couldn't you get a plane down?
No, I don't think so.
It's the landing again.
Yeah, but he wasn't talking to an expert like in all the movies.
Oh, if they walk you
now
through
Bonaduce, lower your gear and wave high and or whatever you do.
Yeah, if the tower's going to walk me through it, of course I can do it.
Of course.
Yeah, of
A
course.
727, of course.
Right.
All right, then me too.
But if I'm just in there by myself because I stole the thing, I don't think so.
But how did you get up in the air?
No, I mean, I don't think I can get up in the air.
Right. All right, so we're up in the plane. I save the day. That's all, Paul.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but sometimes the cover is the point. There is a new collector's edition coffee table book that is called Il Fascino Ferrari, and it's all about Ferraris. It's a pretty cool aluminum case, and it's supposed to look like cylinder heads from a Ferrari V12 engine. Are you ready for how much this book costs?
I am.
Are you sitting down?
I'm always sitting down, Sarah.
$30,000.
Oh, so it's stupid.
How much do Ferraris cost?
$400,000. Well, you can get one for $225,000, I think.
So if you drive a Ferrari, chances are you're loaded.
I don't always agree with that. Chances are you owe the bank a whole bunch of money and want to be seen driving around in a Ferrari. Yeah. I grew up in Hollywood, California, my friends. Ferraris on every corner, and you just think that guy's series got canceled. He'll be getting that back in a few days.
Blue Diamond Almond Company has voluntarily recalled cartons of almond milk after realizing
they taste terrible.
No, they put actual milk in there.
Oh, that's even worse.
So probably didn't taste all that bad since they put some regular milk in there.
It's the whole fight with the Dairy Council. The Dairy Council said you can't use the word milk if you don't have milk in it, so they just put a little splash of milk in there.
If it doesn't have nipples, if the animal that you got this from doesn't have nipples, it can't be milk.
That battle is ensuing where the dairy industry wants anybody calling themselves milk not to be able to.
I don't know if they'll win, but remember the Parmesan Wars?
Yeah.
That if your product wasn't from Parma, Italy, you couldn't call it Parmesan cheese. And we make more Parmesan cheese in Wisconsin than they make in Parma.
Well, they are saying that the problem could be if you've got a severe milk allergy, lactose allergy. So you probably don't want to drink almond milk from Blue Diamond. Airbnb, I think we've all done Airbnbs, right?
Yeah.
Can be pretty fun to go stay in someone's home in another city.
Can be.
In some places, they offer unusual types of places to stay, including a new listing in China. Airbnb has announced a contest for a chance to spend the night on the Great Wall of China.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah.
I'd do that.
I think I would do that too. It sounds pretty neat. Now,
so would all the people that are buried inside the walls freak you out?
Definitely.
It would seem kind of weird. There's 2,000 Chinese guys just stacked into the wall and mortared over.
Well, it's got to get supported somehow.
It does, exactly.
This experience will include a gourmet dinner, traditional Chinese music demonstration, a sunrise hike through the Chinese countryside.
Nope.
Chinese calligraphy lesson.
Nope.
But you might not realize that to stay on the Great Wall of China, there's no roof.
No.
There's no...
That's why it's not called the Great House of China. It's a wall.
But entries are being accepted through August 11th.
So we have to fill out a piece of paper and say, please make us super uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right.
You're on
I want to
wall
sleep
at
on
night.
stone
on
with
some
nothing
dead
covering
folks
me.
with no stone, with no walls or roof. Thanks.
It sounds kind of fun, though.
It does sound kind of... one of my goals is go to the Great Wall of China. I've never been. You've been, right?
I have.
Yeah, it seems very exciting.
It's really awesome. I just cannot imagine the sleeping.
They got to put up a yurt or something, right?
It's actually constructed in one of the old guard towers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's actually big.
Yeah, but I want to know about the facilities. Like, where am I brushing my teeth? And what if I wake up in the middle of the night and I got to go?
I would imagine that's taken care of, but not necessarily what you're used to.
Yeah.
Like a hole in the
And
ground?
if you want to brush your teeth and go to the restroom, do not confuse those two glasses.
There is a story that Hoppa Dave would love.
Yeah?
Maybe only Hoppa Dave, actually, and his fellow Guamanians. There is Spam Restaurant Month happening this month. August is Spam Restaurant Month, which means people who run restaurants across the country are coming up with interesting spam recipes. The weirdest might be...
all of them.
Some of them sound okay, like spam fried rice is yummy.
Yeah.
Spam cocktails?
Doesn't sound okay, but if you're telling me I could have one,
Right, you can have booze, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in. I will suck the booze right out of a chunk of spam.
They are making a spam Mai Tai. So yes, this is an alcoholic beverage made with spam.
I don't see how. I know all the ingredients in a Mai Tai, and it's not spam.
I will tell you how.
All right.
It's pretty gross. They said, don't worry, there won't be any chunks of meat floating around in your drink.
No, they're going to blend that.
It's infused. So they said they mixed lard and spam, 2 different types of rum, let the mixture sit overnight, and then strain the lard liquors and then blend it with fresh pineapple, lime juice, orgeat syrup, and bitters.
Oh, well, now it's not gross at all.
That sounds pretty gnarly.
It sounds way gnarly.
Danny, I don't know if when you were drinking, did you ever drink Bloody Marys?
Yeah, sure.
Because a lot of places, like the fancier cocktail places, had started to do bacon Bloody Marys.
Yep.
And they would do something similar where they would infuse the vodka with bacon, which is also pretty gross.
No, that sounds bitchin'.
Yeah, it's bacon.
Especially in a Bloody Mary. Now you throw a whole shrimp on there.
Right.
Yeah.
But isn't there some bacon and Spam, maybe?
No.
We don't really know what's
there's
in
all
Spam.
sorts of products that might have been in bacon at one point.
Right.
But
not anymore.
if a pig goes number 2, that used to be in pork. Do I want to put it in my beverage?
If your question is, are bacon and Spam the same thing? No, they are absolutely not.
So none of us are getting in line for this cocktail.
We are not.
It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida story of the day.
Yay!
A spat over unheard songs on a jukebox escalated into a confrontation that has landed one man in Okeechobee prison. Michael Gerchik was arrested 2 o'clock in the morning. He's hanging out at the bar. And they said, it's time to go, buddy. It's 2 o'clock. Bar's closing up. And he said, but my songs haven't played in the jukebox yet. They said, doesn't matter. The bar's closing. You got to go. No, my songs. I paid for my songs. They haven't come up on the jukebox yet. And he finally says, what are you going to do? Take me to jail? I said, yep, actually, your wish is our command. They are calling him a jukebox anti-hero. He was turned around and handcuffed and taken to Okeechobee prison.
And his whole thing was because he wanted to wait for his songs that he had paid for to play? Nobody just said, here's $5?
Oh, well, Danny, it is Florida. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that seems excessive to take that guy to jail.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
When we come back, music news, entertainment, and sports, we'll be talking about John Lennon's killer. His wife is speaking out with some disturbing facts about that heinous crime. You won't believe what rock legend joined Taylor Swift on stage over the weekend. We've got the audio. Plus, you can win Mariners tickets next from KZOK. The wife of John Lennon's killer, Mark Chapman, gave an interview to The Mirror and revealed some telling information about their relationship and what happened back in 1980.
Now, she stayed with him, right? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Gloria Hiroko Chapman revealed that her husband told her he was going to murder John Lennon 2 months before he shot and killed him in New York. Gloria Chapman said he did not carry out the threat because of his love for her. He said, okay, I didn't do it, and I've thrown the gun in the water. Well, it turns out he was lying to her.
Imagine a bold-faced murderer lying.
Well, he had gone 2 months prior to New York, planning to perpetrate the crime, and said, I'm not going to do it. I love you too much. I don't want to ruin our relationship. So I threw the gun away. 2 months later, he went back to New York and John Lennon was dead.
Man, quite the fixation that he worked at a hospital, and the night before he went to New York to shoot John Lennon, he signed out of his shift, John Lennon.
Oh,
that's what it says right there in his own handwriting. And then, of course, there's the really famous photos of John Lennon autographing his album.
Right.
He stood outside John Lennon's house, and John was kind enough to autograph his stuff. Yeah, I mean, if this girl wants to stay with him, that's one thing, but I think it's all pretty gross.
Creepy, yeah.
Crazy that they're still together.
Yeah.
Bryan Adams joined Taylor Swift on stage over the weekend.
Now, there is an unlikely duo.
Very unlikely.
Yeah.
And they covered one of his songs.
Really?
Would you like to
Which
hear
means
it?
they covered all of his songs.
Aw. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Crowd apparently enjoying it.
Yeah, you know what, though? They're appreciating Taylor. They don't know who this guy is.
Well, I agree with you. So she didn't actually introduce him. Well, she said, and joining me up on stage to cover like one of my favorite songs. She didn't say, here's Bryan Adams. They put his name up everywhere. So because maybe a lot of people wouldn't know who he is.
No, well, if you didn't say, there's a good chance I wouldn't know who he is. and I have an autographed guitar by that guy, which, by the way,
right.
I don't know why, but I do. So, yeah, putting his name up, not bad. And that's really cool. Although I must tell you, everything that happens in Taylor Swift's life seems kind of awesome to me.
It really does.
It really does.
And he's Canadian, so it makes sense to do it up there. I can't imagine, like, Nickelback joining her on stage.
Why?
Nickelback?
No,
Taylor
she's had,
Swift?
seriously, if you look up who has gone up and surprised her on stage and sang songs with her, seriously, hard rock acts have done it. But then, not in their defense, because it was a smart move. Last year before, she was the most famous thing in the whole wide world. Yeah. And whoever you were going up and showing, hey, I'm a good sport. Let's real fun. Let's do it.
And turns out Courtney Love has a connection to the Grateful Dead. Even if you just went to Google and put in...
I'll bet she does. If anybody's going to be grateful, dead.
Oh. If you go to Google and put in Courtney Love and Phil Lesh, several articles will pop up where there seems to be a connection between the two, that the Grateful Dead member, Phil Lesh, is Courtney Love's godfather. But she says she's not actually sure if it's true. So she has asked John Mayer to find out.
That's what I would do. If I had a question about my family and my heritage, I'd go get John Mayer. And I'd say, hey, can you help me out on this one? Who's my daddy?
Well, remember, John Mayer is in the Grateful Dead spinoff group Dead and Company. They've been out on tour.
For 9 years.
She doesn't have family members she could ask if he's her godfather?
She apparently, as far as she's concerned, she is asking, that's a family member. I guess, is your godfather an actual family member?
No, generally not.
Generally not. And I don't mean literally related, but don't they become a member of your family the second you go, hey, you have to raise them spiritually if I die?
I mean, I guess like a honorary member of your family. Yeah. But you're asking a third party to ask that person, and that person happens to be a member of the Grateful Dead.
That seems so odd to me.
It's weird.
So she has asked John Mayer to help her find out if her father, who briefly managed the pre-Grateful Dead band, the Warlocks, if Phil Lesh is indeed her godfather. Her dad has said it in the past, and she said, I'll buy you a nice Rolex, John, if you come through. He's a watch collector. Now, some people have said, okay, that's nice. I ask him, he should, except Phil Lesh does not play with Dead and Company.
Oops.
Well, it's got to be, why would you ask him? They got to still be in touch or something.
Or she just assumed that he was
in the band and didn't even look. Wow.
Whoops.
Total whoops.
Ann Wilson of Heart has released a second single from her upcoming album called Immortal. It's a cover of Leslie Gore's 1963 hit, You Don't Own Me. She said, I think this song is a bit of an anthem, especially with the times we're living in.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear her cover of Leslie Gore?
Sure.
All right, Derek, hit it.
You don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You don't own me.
She's got such a good voice.
She does. I don't really love her rendition.
I don't love what she's doing, to be honest. Is it the I'm Gonna Talk Weird song, so you'll take me seriously?
It's real slow, too.
Yeah, well...
The song, original wasn't super fast, but...
Yeah, it might have been a little quicker than this.
Quicker than this,
it's the way she's pronouncing the words. Yeah, I don't know what to dow. What's a dow?
She's just doing a little too much to it.
But it's a big voice. It's a great set of pipes.
Yeah.
She should just stop fooling around for a little bit, get together with her sister, and go on tour before I get mad.
Well, she is currently out on tour promoting her solo album. She's opening up for Jeff Beck, Paul Rogers. That will go through the end of the month. And then her new album will be released on September 14th. She says that the internal problems that she and Nancy and the band faced are behind them. They are sisters, and they have moved forward.
No, that's cool. And I got to say, with this song, weird pronunciation or not, I can see going, I can see punching my boyfriend right in the face over this song. Yeah, you don't own me. I'm not one of your toys. Pow!
Well, you may
Besides, I hate him anyway. He's always bugging me.
You may have heard us talking about it earlier, but the iHeartRadio Music Festival is back.
Yeah.
Happening September 21st and 22nd at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, baby. Two of the biggest nights, biggest names. This is a fantastic collection of people, including Fleetwood Mac and Lynyrd Skynyrd. And while the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. You are listening for the keyword. You text it to 200-200 for your chance to win a trip for two. You can get all the info at KZOK.com and your next chance to text in and win 810. This morning, some sad news out of Hollywood. Charlotte Rae, the actress who played the beloved Mrs. Garrett in Different Strokes and the Facts of Life, has died. She was 92 years old and had reportedly been diagnosed with bone cancer.
92, wow.
Yeah.
Still a pup next to my mommy, but she was around forever.
Yep.
She really
She worked with some of the greats, too. If you go back, she's like a little Fanny Bryce-ish, always the comic relief, but there she is with Cary Grant and
really?
people like that. Yeah, pretty amazing. Pretty stellar career.
Yeah, she worked on Broadway as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, she did.
Yeah.
There's a video circulating that has some people thinking Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, has found a new Colonel Sanders with a Game of Thrones connection. There's some video circulating on TMZ that shows Halfdor Julius Bjornsson, who is the Mountain from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to go the other way. I thought it was going to be the midget for sure.
The little guy, yeah.
This
Little
is
person.
an
Whatever it
Icelandic
is you want
guy
to say.
who is the 2018 World's Strongest Man.
That's amazing. Guys that tall are usually sick.
Well, he's been trying to get this award, the World's Strongest Man, for a long time. Finally, he won it. But he is wearing the Colonel Sanders outfit and doing some like weightlifting and stuff. And
Not
so,
the original
Where?
outfit. They had to custom make one
Right.
for
And
him.
where are you seeing this?
TMZ.
Oh.
TMZ circulated video that shows him pulling fried chicken. So, like a World's Strongest Man, you pull cars and stuff like that. He's pulling a huge truckload of fried chicken.
Okay, well, I would assume that may be the new Colonel Sanders then.
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
They always have strange people doing it. You never know.
Almost whoever does it looks strange because they're playing the Colonel. It's like playing
Yeah.
Santa Claus. It's weird that you're doing it. You're not the Colonel. But I've been pretty happy with most of them.
You didn't like Reba McEntire, though.
Yeah, she didn't bother me that much. I liked George Hamilton the best,
Yeah.
and I thought it was a creepy character. I just, I've known that guy since '74. We met for the
goodness.
first time. Yeah, and he was very nice to me then.
Jim Gaffigan was great, the
Yeah.
comedian. Norm Macdonald. He was on there. Daryl Hammond, also SNL guy.
I think he started it.
Yeah.
Daryl Hammond. I recognized his voice and looked it up.
Two patrons of Chef Gordon Ramsay's newest restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip were taken to the hospital for treatments for injuries involving a drink. Caesars Entertainment has confirmed 2 people were injured at Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. They did not specify the drink, but say it was taken off the menu. However, some people who had been there before said, oh, it's totally the flaming tiki-style cocktail called the Rum Donkey.
The Rum Donkey.
Yep.
Because he
this-
calls everybody a donkey.
Oh, does
Like
he?
if you mess up in the kitchen, you stupid donkey.
Well, Danny, you've seen this happen before at bars, right? Where you have some fancy cocktail and you light it on fire.
Yeah, I most certainly have the Harbor Lights at the Harbor House in Santa Monica Pier.
And next thing you know, you're lighting somebody's beard on
What
fire.
the hell is his name? He played Grizzly Adams.
Yeah.
I've forgotten his name all of a sudden. He's like, I'll remember it in a minute. But yeah, we did not catch him on fire. It's not like we put the drink in his mouth. Dan Haggerty. And
That's right, yeah.
you blow it out or drink it through a straw. He didn't either.
Well,
Because he's
neither-
Grizzly Adams. He doesn't need to blow it out.
Right. Well, he found out that might have not been the case.
Yesterday, Patrick Stewart confirmed the rumors he will indeed be back to play Jean-Luc Picard again. Star Trek producers were trying to get him on for a while, and he said, truly felt like it's time to go back. He'll be appearing in Star Trek Discovery on the CBS Video On Demand service.
Oh, wow. I saw 1 or 2 episodes with him as the captain. It's Captain. I really like that
Yeah,
guy,
me
and he
too.
seems so likable. And
He does.
such weird. So he's the head of the CIA or whatever it is, CIA in American Dad. Except he's really into bondage and little people. And he plays it. Where's my midget? Is something he yells in a cartoon. Like,
Yeah.
that's not how. Like, is he a sir?
I think he might be.
Is he a duke? Is he
should
the
be.
Duke of Earl?
Yeah,
he
he's
should
the
be.
Duke of Earl.
He is
Yeah.
the Duke of Earl.
Duke of Earl. Danny, I know you've gone to great lengths to try to ensure you didn't fall off the wagon,
Yeah, I have.
chaining yourself to furnaces and such.
Yeah.
Well, Kelsey Grammer has gone to great lengths to try to ensure he won't cheat on his current and 4th wife. He has revealed
I want to make that same exact pact. I am not going to cheat on my 4th wife.
Kelsey
I'm
Grammer.
sure Amy very much appreciates that. As
I
your
could
third
marry her
wife.
again. You don't know.
Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer says that he has tattooed his wife's name where his Whoozits is. I think above the Whoozits. And he said that way whoever might be hanging out with me would see that and realizes that this is owned by somebody named Katie.
If she sees it, in my opinion, you've cheated already. If it's on your Whoozits and some other girl's looking at it, no good. But also,
if you made it that far,
also doesn't work. I tried all sorts of stuff like that. And believe me, the girl that's going to sleep with the celebrity, even though he's married, when you open up that guy's shirt and it says married tattooed across his shirt, she's not going to go, oh my God, I didn't know. She knows, she's into it. Yeah, that will not help you, man. You just have to learn to behave yourself.
Danny, your birthday is just a few days away.
It is. My goodness gracious. We're celebrating it August 10th. I'm very excited about that.
This Friday.
Yeah.
This Friday down at Chandler's Crab House on South Lake Union. We're going to be down there from 5:30 to 9:30. Please come join us.
Yeah, do. I know that 5:30 sounds early. We do it every day, and you'll have the most fun. So we've been dying to meet. So please come on down to Chandler's Crab House at South Lake Union, right?
Yep. All you have to do is RSVP KZOK.com/Danny's birthday. Totally free to attend.
Beautiful. So do that. Come play with us.
Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. The Mariners had been waiting for a big day from Kyle Seager to spark their struggling offense, and they finally got it yesterday. Kyle Seager hit not one, but 2 home runs. Nelson Cruz adding another, and the Mariners powered their way to a 6-3 win over the Toronto Blue Jays,
Yay.
snapping a 5-game losing streak. They are back. If you were at yesterday's Mariners game, Safeco Field, you saw a great game. You need to start calling us right now to tell us what Mariners KZOK music trivia was from yesterday's game. The first person to correctly identify yesterday's song wins what, Derek?
They win tickets to the game on Friday, August 17th at 7:10 p.m. versus the LA Dodgers, which just happens to be Sing-Along Fireworks Night.
Sing-along fireworks night.
All right, call right now, 800-252-1025. Call right now to win.
Did we take on Toronto? Or did we play them Friday?
Yes.
I was downtown with Amy Friday, and I could not believe how many of you walking around near the market, but just walking around in general, wearing Blue Jays gear.
Because all of Canada, it's their only team, so they're all Blue Jays fans,
right.
And they come down from Vancouver.
But I'm from Philadelphia. You guys could get hurt. That's what I think. I go, oh God, don't do that. And I went, oh no, I live in Seattle. Everybody's going to be nice to these people. But there was a lot of them.
Yesterday was gorgeous. People should have been out at the game.
Yep.
But when I saw it on TV, I just saw a sea of Blue Jays fans.
It's probably 2/3, if not 3/4, full of Blue Jays fans, especially with the Seafair weekend. But we won yesterday. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Up next, let's see. Who do we have pitching today? Would be Wade LeBlanc, and we play Texas. First pitch, 5:05. The Mets are having a terrible, terrible season. Several teams are having really bad seasons. Baltimore Orioles are horrendous. But the Mets so bad that they have partnered with a health company to offer free counseling.
What?
You're so sad. You're so devastated about the New York Mets playing so poorly. Come in and talk to a psychiatrist free of charge.
Well, why don't you also see the psychiatrist about the fact that you take a baseball game a shade too seriously and it's interfering with your everyday life? That's great. Is it a publicity stunt?
Yeah, I think on behalf of the medical company that it's really their marketing campaign that they've started. I don't think the Mets went out and said.
I thought it was the Mets for sure.
I can't see the Mets going out and saying, "Hey, we're having such a bad streak. Can you offer some counseling to
makes perfect sense
to our fans?"
And 120 professional and college teams, including the Seattle Seahawks, will wear what is considered the safest helmet in the country this football season. Seattle startup Vicus beat out 34 helmet models made by 6 other companies as the best in reducing head impact severity on the field for the second year in a row. The helmet is called 01. It consists of an unique outer shell material, and it was voted Time Magazine's 25 Best Inventions of 2017. Pretty cool that it's a company based here in Seattle, and that's what folks are going to be wearing to cut down on concussions.
I'll tell you, there's a movie I saw, and I forget what the setup was, but let's just say, I don't know, it was some thing about personal safety or a gun. I don't know what it was, but the big tagline was, "The safest one is the one you never need." Now, you can't ever get football players not hit in the head, right? There's not one you don't have to use.
No, you've got to wear a helmet.
You gotta wear. I was just wondering if you played without a helmet, would you be more careful? It would hurt your head too.
I mean, a lot of that contact to the head, especially now with the rules, a lot of it is incidental. You know, it's not on. You're not doing it intentionally,
Right.
So
The rules are. I was just watching something on TV the other night, and two players went down. Both people went down just about the same time, kind of rammed each other, and both were in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that's a pretty natural response.
Yeah, they've got to have a helmet. It's just working on the technology to make those
Do
helmets
they wear helmets in rugby?
No, but you're
Rugby
also
seems even more violent.
yeah. But I guess it's just a little different pace, and you're not. I mean, the guys aren't as big. Some of these defensive linemen, especially, you're not playing against that type of player. But
Now I have heard them respond to that by saying, "Feel free to have one of those huge guys play, get them in a scrum."
Oh, I'm not saying that rugby's
no,
not
I didn't
a
think you
tougher
were.
sport.
I'm just saying they play without a helmet and they seem to do okay.
Johnny Manziel's CFL start was nothing short of disastrous.
Oh my God!
The former Cleveland Browns first-round draft pick had a nightmare performance in his first start for the Montreal Alouettes, throwing 4 first-half interceptions.
No way!
he's breaking records.
His team lost 50-11.
What? I didn't even that was possible.
He was removed. from
Wait,
the
is he
game.
still playing football?
This is the CFL.
This is
Yeah.
not a basketball game with 50 points.
And they're a terrible team, and they've been losing before he got there, but he didn't help them at all.
Nope. The Sounders beat Minnesota 2-1. Up next for them, FC Dallas. Match time is Sunday at 7. Breanna Stewart scored 20 points. Sue Bird had 14 and 11 assists, and the Storm clinched their first WA playoff berth this season with an 85-75 victory over the defending champion Minnesota Lynx Friday night. Next up, they play the New York Liberty today at 8 o'clock. So just an hour from now. Congratulations to Elson in Redmond. He was at the Mariners game yesterday, and new Mariners KZOK music trivia was You've Got Another Thing Coming from Judas Priest.
Cool.
They're going to the Jeep winners window in our lobby to pick up what, Derek?
Elson won tickets for the game on Friday, August 17th at 7:10 p.m. versus the LA Dodgers, which just happens to be Sing-Along Fireworks Night.
Sing along fireworks night.
Don't miss the 4th of 5 fireworks nights at Safeco Field featuring some of your favorite tunes to sing along to. The Mariners have partnered with Pyro Spectaculars, the same company who produces the New Year's Eve at the Space Needle extravaganza for this big event. Head over to mariners.com/fireworks for more information.
All right, the Mariners on the road playing the Texas Rangers, 5:05 start time on Root Sports. You'll have another chance to win tickets tomorrow morning right around this same time. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUIOA.
Let's talk about 1-800-DUIOA. That's the number that you should call. You get pulled over and you've had too much to drink, man. You're going away in handcuffs right then and there. Isn't that like astonishing that happened? But it does. You need to call 1-800-DUIOA. That's 1-800-DUIOA. They'll meet in Seattle, Everett, or Tacoma. If the unfortunate happens to you and you get a DUI, do not delay. Call 1-800-DUIOA. That's 1-800-DUIOA. Hanger or banger? I'm not sure you should do either one of those things. I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble. Anyway, be right here for Hanger or Banger, and you can win a pair of tickets to Hanger Fest, which sounds awesome, and that's happening at the Museum of Flight.
There's a disturbing story making news about the game Fortnite. Now, we know this is a very, very popular video game that younger folks are playing for the most part. I mean, you don't have to be, but it seems to be that the younger folks are the one playing it.
No, if you're sitting at home and you're over 40 and you're spending hours at that, I have questions.
Well, Derek, are you playing Fortnite?
No, I'm terrible at it.
But you did try.
I tried.
Tori, what about you?
No, but Derek's actually lying. He's pretty good.
But you gave up because 12 and 14-year-olds were beating you?
Absolutely.
That's why I gave up fighting.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny to think that now it seems to be so important in society that parents are hiring experts to coach their kids on playing the game Fortnite.
Yeah.
They think it's really important for their growth, for them to have self-esteem.
Is that really how they feel, or are they just super weird, I'll get my kid anything at once?
Maybe a little bit of both, but like how Derek said he's not very good. If Derek were younger, maybe his parents would be like, uh-oh, Got to worry about little Derek's self-esteem. Let's hire him a Fortnite coach.
I question all this. I question every bit of this.
Yeah, they're saying that these coaches have to teach the kids how to play so that they can make friends. It's their only opportunity to make friends is sitting behind a computer screen and playing against someone.
Not school.
Right, no.
Not certainly not school. Not their summer job. Not their paper route where they flip it onto Mr. Wilson's driveway. Nope, only at home.
But it's just highlighting the difference between generations. You know, like there were video games when I was a kid, but I told you guys not that long ago, the big game in my neighborhood was flashlight tag. And you'd get so excited when it would finally get dark and you could run outside and play flashlight tag, which is essentially hide and seek. And
With
you're
flashlights.
looking with
With
a flashlight.
I like it.
But everybody in the neighborhood got so excited to play, and you'd find all these creative places to go hide.
And you felt you didn't need a coach?
I don't think I needed a coach to learn how to play
flashlight tag coach.
flashlight
Seems
tag.
weird to me.
But I mean, it's like I said, to me, it seems generational. I know, Danny, you probably had a different game of choice in your neighborhood when you were growing
Well,
up.
are these neighborhoods or are these videos? Because I had both growing up, and I'll tell you the game. Anybody my age will go, "Oh yeah, that was great." Centipede.
Yeah.
Centipede was a spectacular game. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, people, in the arcades, there were arcades in my neighborhood. And my neighborhood was kind of like a busy area. It was a whole castle, maybe 15,000 square feet, filled with all sorts of crazy games to play video game. And the video game pushed out the pinball machines.
Yeah.
So I go with that kind of game. I'm going to go Centipede.
Centipede, right on. Well, you guys listening, was it a video or a computer game, board game, cards? What was the game of choice when you were growing up? Let us know by calling 800-252-1025 or text.
Man, there's so many of them. There's Grand Theft Auto, and now we're talking about Fortnite and people hiring coaches. The question to you is, what game of choice, what was your game of choice when you were growing up? 1-800-252-1025, or you can text us at 90627.
We'll start with Paul and Buckley.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, good morning. Sarah, our game was similar to yours, but we didn't have flashlights. It was called Kick the Can.
Yeah, I'm a big player of Kick the Can back in my old days. Now,
So
you
it
and
was
I
like
are
a
about
hide and seek?
Yeah, it's exactly hide and seek. Everybody would hide, and then as you got caught, if somebody could come in and kick the can when the other guy wasn't looking, you could all re-hide till he repositioned the can. Is
Like
that right?
capture the flag?
Yeah. Is that the rules that you remember, Paul?
Yes, absolutely.
And you and I are about the same age, aren't we?
Yeah, we're getting there. I'll see you on Friday, buddy.
Good. Look forward to it,
Fantastic.
buddy. See you there, Paul.
I never knew what kick the can was. I thought it literally was just you stand in a circle and kick a can back and forth. But
No.
it sounds very much like things that I played as well. when I was
It's a
growing up.
spectacularly good game, I thought. And my thing was the home base was at the bottom of the street light. And I could try, when I was a kid, I can climb a street light all the way 25 feet or whatever it was in seconds. So he'd go and look for somebody else. I'd be right on top of him, just looking down the game. It was so much fun now that I look back on it.
800-252-1025. What was the game of choice when you were growing up? Let's talk to Drama in Renton.
Hey,
Good
Drama.
morning, y'all.
Morning.
Hey, so as I told Derek, I said this, and I'll be dating myself. It was Donkey Kong or Space Invaders.
Yeah, boy, do you remember how the graphics on Space Invaders were they looked like, were they squids? The things that were invading, it was
Kind of
super.
look like digital squids.
Yeah, Digital Squids. Oh, that's my new band name, Digital Squids. So were you good at Donkey Kong? Because I'd seen it a couple times and I never got the hang of it.
I was all right at Donkey Kong. I was much better at Frogger.
Yeah, I played Frogger. Frogger was a good one. Thanks, Drama.
800-252-1025. Talking about what the game of choice was when you were growing up. A video game, arcade, board game, cards, etc. Because Fortnite is all the rage with the kids these days. And so much so that parents are hiring experts to coach their kids on how to play the game. Like, imagine, Danny, your son was really into Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
Imagine if he wasn't really good at it, so you hired him a coach.
Yeah, I got to tell you, if he were into Grand Theft Auto, it would actually be stealing cars. That's what he'd be doing, and I would not get him a coach.
Let's talk to Rob in Louisville.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, good morning.
What's
Well,
up?
that sounds kind of crazy right now, but back when we were kids, we'd put on some heavy clothes, go out in the woods with our BB gun and a bucket of rocks, and we'd play war.
Well, who got the bucket of rocks and who got the BB gun?
We all had buckets of rocks, and I've actually got hit in the head once with a rock, and we'd shoot big BB guns at each other, and it really retarded for real.
I got to tell you that if I were going to be your guy, I would. I'd rather have the rocks.
Yeah.
I'd
Than a-
wait than a
than a
BB gun. I'll
BB gun.
take a BB gun. If it doesn't get me in my eye or face, I don't care that much. But I hit you with a rock, you're going to be
Rock's gonna
bumming.
hurt for
I
sure.
can remember playing some violent games growing up, but not Rock War.
Yeah,
With rocks and BB guns. That seems pretty dangerous.
I never did the BB gun part, but I think all boys threw rocks at each other.
I mean, I guess we threw rocks near each other, but you really didn't.
Oh no, right?
We didn't hit each other. We hit each other with sticks.
Lloyd Talbert lost his teeth, man, when he was like 8.
Wow.
Took one right to the mouth. And the other one was we'd have dirt clod fights, and
Yeah.
somebody else always putting a rock in the middle of the dirt clod.
Same with the snowball fights.
Same with a snowball.
Dave in Olympia, what was the game of choice when you were growing up?
Broom ball.
What's that?
You go out on an ice hockey rink in your tennis shoes with a broom cut off about halfway and a half-flat playground ball.
Yeah.
Now they call
And
it curling.
You play it like hockey.
No, now they call it trespassing. Because how the hell did he get on an ice rink in his tennis shoes?
That sounds like a pretty strange game, but you make do with what you got.
It's like one of my favorite scenes of Rocky. It makes me cry just to think about it. He takes out the girl that he thinks is handicapped in somewhere. She wants to go ice skating, but he doesn't know how to skate. So she's skating and he's on his boots, talking nice. It was adorable, man.
Well, it's tough too for kids who want to play hockey. You need a lot of equipment, and that stuff's expensive.
Yeah.
So why not broom ball? What about Stinky and Puyallup?
Stinky.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, foosball. There were the pinball wizards, right? Well, they were the foosball kings in Puyallup. We had an arcade that was the place to go if you were under 21, and foosball was the fad for quite some time. So you could put the
Foosball-
ball on the back of that foosball table and almost put it through the back of the table, make that noise, you were it.
Well, foosball comes and goes in popularity, and sometimes,
For
like if
sure.
you think about a dorm, now somebody's got a foosball table for sure. But if you watch one of my favorite shows, Friends, Joey and what's his face Chandler had a foosball table in their house the whole 6 years that show was on, and neighbors would drop by to play it and stuff. So that comes and goes.
Yeah.
Because I never loved it, but I think just because I'm not good at it.
Foosball is very popular on the text line. We got a lot of people texting in saying foosball. Also, Mark in Puyallup, for him, it was the Rubik's Cube.
Yep.
Dave in Bremerton, asteroids. And for Amanda in Packwood, she would go out in the yard and call the coyotes by howling back at them.
Oh, there you go. That's a game. Rubik's Cube, I don't know. I don't know if the judges are going to allow it. As a
No?
game when you were growing up, the Rubik's Cube, is
It's
it
a game. You play by yourself.
It's a puzzle.
Yeah, the puzzles.
I can see it being a
Kind of
game.
All right, I'm in. I'll go home and play it.
Dave in Federal Way, good morning.
Half a day from Guam, guys. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, I want to send a shout to Tony from Kapowsin. He came to the gym on yesterday when I was teaching a private class for some kids.
And did he
guy.
go, kapow?
Son.
Oh, I'm here to meet Half a Day from Guam, guys.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So all of Hapa Dave's 1,000 plugs are finally paying off with one
Some
customer.
guy showed, and he didn't even pay any
Tony.
money yet.
Nice job.
He also said, Danny's right. You are very handsome, Half a Day from Guam.
Well, I am right about that.
But hey, the oldest game in the world, marbles, circles, and lines. We played that when we were kids.
Do you know what surprises me? I never really thought people played marbles. It seems like something from the 1800s.
Right.
During Wimbledon, some of those matches went so long, and they were showing the tennis players in the locker room trying to stay occupied, and they were doing some stretches and playing marbles.
Wow, that's crazy. I never got the hang of it, but yeah, everybody, my brothers played marbles.
I collected marbles, and I understood that there was supposed to be a game, but I never knew how to play the game.
I'd take a marble, maybe a cat's eye, you don't know, and I'd shoot it out of my wrist rocket, which is a slingshot, except with a brace on your arm, so
Yeah.
you can pull it
Right.
back like 20 times as far. You could kill somebody
That'll
fooling
hurt.
around like
Could.
that.
Tori, what was the game of choice when you were growing up?
In high school, all the boys were playing Madden and NBA 2K11.
Yep.
They would get together and put a bunch of monitors up and do all these tournaments. It was hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a
And-
big thing.
Seems like a lot of work to me. It's
I know,
supposed to be a
right?
game.
Stupid.
Boys.
Yeah,
Paul.
totally boys. What's up with the boys?
Paul, what was the game of choice when you were growing up?
Well, to prove that I am much older than Tori, for me it was the original Nintendo and Duck Hunt in particular. And we had one of those rear projection TVs, so like the huge boxy ones that weigh like 1,000
Yeah,
pounds.
yeah, sure.
And we're sitting like 5 feet away. You can't really miss. You've got the gun, and there's a duck that's like 2 foot across, you can't really miss it. So I was awesome at duck hunts.
Yeah, but was anybody terrible at duck hunts?
No, nobody was
you
terrible.
couldn't-
And in fact, just for fun, like we would sometimes just point the gun completely sideways away from the TV and shoot it, and oftentimes we would still hit a duck.
Yeah, Amy and I will play a gun game. We'll go up and it'll be a Western thing where you got to draw a partner or something like that. Those gun games are kind of fun.
Derek, what was it when you were growing up?
Growing up in the 90s, it was all about pogs. My poor parents had to spend countless dollars on stupid little cardboard pieces of paper. It was crazy.
Well,
Pogs.
which one were the
I think
pogs?
I
They were the
remember
round.
pogs.
They all had like different like logos on them. Like there was probably thousands of them. They were just little round pieces of cardboard, and you had a big rubber one, and you would slam it onto a stack. And the ones that flipped over, you'd get to keep those pieces.
Also,
Like-
it's stupid.
It was a terrible game.
It's like Tiddlywinks, only even dumber.
I was thinking
Seriously.
Tiddlywinks the whole time.
Oh, I'm so glad you grew out of that, Derek. Thanks for
Who
all your
says he grew out of it?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
still
he never
playing
said
right over there right now.
Thanks for all your calls and texts. It is now time to play the new game, Sweeping the Nation, Hanger or Banger.
Hanger or banger?
You can win a pair of tickets to
Hanger or banger?
for a chance to win a pair of tickets to Hanger Fest happening on August 25th at the Museum of Flight. So here's how this works. To win, you will have to name the famous aircraft storage facility, the Hangar, or the head-banging musician, the Banger, from Danny's Clue.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect sense. Bernadette in historic Kent is our contestant.
Hiya, Bernadette.
Hi.
Hi, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yes.
Do you understand the rules of the game?
Yes.
Wow, you're up on me. Here we go then. This hanger or banger came to prominence in the early 1980s with a voice that he claims has been scientifically proven to defy all laws of physics. He was the dolled up face of the Twisted Band named after a female sibling. The band's Not Gonna Take It Anymore. Can you name this hanger or banger?
Twisted Sister?
See, I was worried about that.
So who was the dolled up face of that band?
The dolled up face.
Who's the singer?
Are we
the
allowed to
banger?
do this?
Sure.
Give her a
It's
shot.
Monday. We can help out.
All right. Well, that was a lot of help. But who's the face of that band?
Dee Snyder?
There you
There
go.
you
Dee
go.
Snyder. Wow. You got that all by yourself. Very nice.
Congratulations. You've won a pair of tickets to Hanger Fest August 25th at the Museum of Flight. You can pick up your prize at the Jeep Winners window in our lobby.
It is big and it is news, and it's brought to you by Goldberg Jones, divorcefromjones.com.
President Donald Trump took a shot at Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James in a tweet Friday night. LeBron James was just here's the tweet. LeBron James was just interviewed by the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon. He made LeBron look smart, which isn't easy to do. I like Mike, as in Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody likes Mike.
I want to be like Mike.
I like that he just throws that in, like no, don't get me wrong. I like basketball players, or I like African Americans.
Yeah.
Like just I like Mike.
Real
Like
tall, black, basketball playing people. Just not you.
just not you.
Just not you.
LeBron James had been interviewed by CNN's Don Lemon last Monday, and this was all about his LeBron James Family Foundation in Akron. So we talked about this last week, that he was launching this elementary school
Right,
for
yeah.
at-risk children.
Everybody who gets through his school will have a full ride to college. Like he's doing
Is that
great things
really
for the community.
true?
Yeah, everybody who gets through the school that he set up, he's going to give them a
What do you mean
scholarship to
gets
college.
through?
Like graduates, I think all the way through high school.
And then you got a free ride?
Yeah, he'll give them
That's
a full
awesome.
full scholarship to college. He's doing awesome
Well,
things in the community.
You can't just give a guy a full scholarship to a college.
I
If you
think
don't-
there's specific, like it has to be in-state school or something.
Okay, 'cause-
but he has parameters. But they have to graduate
Neat.
through high school after going to his school.
Well, I don't think anyone except Donald Trump would say this isn't amazing what LeBron James is doing. Now, he sent out this tweet, which was not very nice. And during the interview, LeBron James had said that he thinks that Donald Trump is trying to divide people using sports. And so that's why Donald Trump seemingly is angry. Well, then a couple days go by And his wife, Melania Trump, praised LeBron James.
Sure. She likes a real tall black guy, too.
It looks like LeBron James is working to do good things on behalf of our next generation, and she plans to visit the school.
Nice.
So kind of seems like defying her husband a bit.
Oh, well, yeah, because your husband's the president. 'Cause Amy hates half the things I like and vice versa. It's not, but defying your husband who goes after a guy who's building that school does seem like the genuine article.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
So here's what he's offering to all students at the school: free tuition, free uniforms, free breakfast, lunch, and snacks, free transportation within 2 miles, a free bicycle and helmet, access to a food pantry for their family, guaranteed tuition for all graduates to the University of Akron. Parents of the students will receive access to job placement services, high school. They can get their high school diplomas or
Who,
GEDs.
the parents?
The parents, yeah.
So
that,
does he know something about these parents that we don't know? Because it sounds like they're in a lot of trouble.
He's
yeah,
from
I mean,
Akron.
it's a impoverished community that he's, it's
And are all the kids who go to his school, do they come from an impoverished community, from the same kind of neighborhood?
it's all the kids are going to go there
Well,
from
good.
that neighborhood.
Good on him.
Pretty amazing. Well, we like to try to help the community as well. For the past 7 years, iHeartRadio has partnered with the international advocacy organization Global Citizen to help end extreme poverty around the world. Listen tomorrow morning, right around this same time. We're going to unveil the incredible talent performing at the 2 special Global Citizen events this year. One is in New York, one is in Johannesburg, South Africa. Find out how you can become a global citizen and be part of these 2 historic events. As I said, tomorrow morning, right around this same time, exclusively from iHeartRadio and KZOK.
Well, that sounds very nice.
Yeah.
It's the first time hearing of it, to be honest with you. It sounds really, really neat.
Yeah.
Look at us go.
The Pope is set to speak to a huge number of people in Ireland in a place called Phoenix Park.
Uh-oh.
Huge papal mass. You've seen this before, Danny, where the Pope goes to give a mass and thousands of people show up.
Sometimes 500,000 people show up for that guy.
Well, they are expecting 600,000
See
people. So they are building infrastructure there to handle 600,000 people.
You need extra restroom facilities for sure, right?
You need extra
Yeah,
restroom
sure.
facilities.
Where is this again?
Dublin,
Dublin.
Ireland. So you need to have tightened security, traffic restrictions, and a mortuary.
Why do you have to have a mortuary?
They are concerned that so many people are coming out, and some of those people are elderly,
Yeah.
that some people might die of natural causes, heart attacks, strokes. They are concerned about having an excessive number of dead people, and they are building a mortuary.
Well, you're right. That is morbid.
And so, why you don't bury people on site? You take them to some sort of morgue?
Not a cemetery, a mortuary to process the dead bodies.
So we're not burying them.
No.
Oh,
Not a cemetery, mortuary where you perform an
Like a
autopsy
holding area.
or-
Yeah,
Basically a
but
big refrigerator.
I don't exactly know how you have to hold a bunch of dead people. They're not going anywhere.
You got to keep them cool, though. You can't just make a pile out in the
The
sun.
living people are boiling out there. How come the dead guys get air conditioning?
Costco has just upped their water game. The superstore has recently added 3 flavors to their Kirkland signature line of fizzy beverages, trying specifically to go after cult favorite LaCroix. Over the past few years, sales of LaCroix have skyrocketed, and Costco's private label says, we can top that.
All right.
So they're coming out with their own Kirkland signature, which is going to cost less. They say 33% less.
That's because I'm thinking, well, I don't care. But 33%, that's a big, I do
Yeah.
care. I'll do that.
LaCroix is absolutely delicious, but it's not free
No.
and it's not cheap.
You know what it is?
What?
It's water.
Yes, but most of them are flavored, and they are Costco specifically coming out with the same flavors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Costco playing tough these
Yep.
days.
And they sell LaCroix, too, right?
They do.
So they're
Yep.
going to compete with their own product that they're selling.
Yep. I guess it makes more sense for the Kirkland brand to sell better than a product they carry.
My lovely wife tells me that the Kirkland vodka is every bit as good as what does she drink? She like Grey Goose, one of the high end vodkas. She said every bit, and it's half the money.
Oh my goodness.
I could, even in my highest drinking days, and I was good at it, I couldn't tell good vodka from crap. It's all tastes like gasoline.
Yeah.
A pair of residents at a German old folks home caused a panic amongst the staff when they couldn't be found. It turns out they had snuck out to attend the Wacken Open Air Festival.
Not the Wacken.
This is
Someday you're just going to be too old for that. I don't care what you say.
Every year they have what's technically called the Wacken Festival.
I
And
like it
it's
better when we call it Wacken.
Wacken, yeah.
the world's largest metal festival. Headliners this year: Judas Priest, Danzig, Hatebreed, Vince Neil, Dokken, Tremonti, Cannibal Corpse, Fozzy, and others. 75,000 metalheads converging in Germany, including
to see
two people
Dokken.
who broke out from the old folks' home.
You know, and this is in Germany?
Yep.
Something about a German old folks home makes me just a little nervous.
Yeah.
Like, where were you spending your time? I don't know, around 50, 60 years ago, mister. That's what I would ask.
Well, the cops arrived. They did some searching. They found them at 3 o'clock in the morning. They're like, we don't want to go home. This is the best night of our lives.
And do they have to?
I think technically, yeah.
I guess if you're under somebody, because I'd be mad if I was lucid enough to go, no, I really want to see Dokken. All right, that's a strike against you if you really want to see Dokken. But Judas Priest, I really want to see Judas Priest. Well, you have to go back home, 9 or whatever you say in German.
Yeah, they're not in prison.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
I'm with Paul.
I think you kind of are.
No, you're there voluntarily. It's not.
Yeah,
like,
you pay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you pay.
Yeah, I don't
You
think
should
you're
be
allowed
able to
leave
come
at
and
night.
go.
I don't
Well,
think you can.
not at that age.
Christopher Robin opened up at the box office over the weekend around the globe, except for China, where it is blocked.
Really?
They have
That's a bunch of poo.
It's poo blocking, apparently.
Yeah.
There was an online crackdown that saw officials in China stop allowing any images of Winnie the Pooh.
Why?
They say the content is illegal. Little Bear Winnie is what they also call it. And they said they've never given a complete official explanation, but President Xi Jinping was once compared to him, and they thought that was an
I could
insult.
see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird that you could see a similarity between the president of a huge country and a toy bear. But I think I can see it, man.
Well, he didn't like the comparison,
No,
apparently.
Apparently not. Blocked a whole country, how many Chinese are there now? 1.5 billion?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And they get no poo.
All right, here's what I heard. I heard if all of China, everybody, man, woman, and child in China, stood on a chair and jumped at the exact same moment, they'd knock the world off his axis.
Oh, my goodness.
Paul is...
2% chance of that happening in our lifetime.
I've been waiting.
Lance Bass. Y'all remember him?
Sure.
Lance Bass from NSYNC.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say Backstreet Boys, but they're one and the
Close.
same to me.
This is how you always know who you're talking to. What the hell are you looking at? I'm right here.
Lance Bass still has a boatload of loot from his time in NSYNC, and he put a bid in on the Brady Bunch house.
Wow.
He told the press he is a huge super fan of the 70s sitcom. He has watched every episode 50 times, which is funny, too, because he wasn't even born when that show was
Right.
on. He was so excited when he found out that the house went up for sale. He put in a bid on it, was told he had it for over $2 million is what.
See, this is crazy. It's an $800,000 house at best, and I think they wanted $1.3 million for it.
No, 1.9, just shy of 1.9. They said by the end of the day, they said, all right, you're going to have to be aggressive with your bidding. He's like, fine, just shy of $3 million. And they said, okay,
What?
it looks like you got it. 24 hours later, he says the realtor called and said, we had a circumstance. Someone came in with a higher offer, somebody in a corporate office, and you didn't get the Brady Bunch house.
Oh, poor Lance
Poor
Bass.
Lance Bass.
He's mad.
Does he really have any money? Lance Bass?
I mean, how do you buy a $3 million house if you don't have money?
He didn't. I'm just wondering if there's a bunch of talk.
No, I think that band earned so much in its time, and he's had very successful projects since then.
$22 million bucks.
Wow, that's
Little
not
bit more.
hay. Still crazy to put up 3 on a house that doesn't deserve 1.5.
Yeah. That's the big news of the day. Brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE, or online, goldbergjones.com.
You guessed it. There's more coming right up. It's Business News with Jim the Flagger.
Business news from Jim the Flagger.
Spoiler alert, Jeff Bezos is rich. But how rich is he? As Danny correctly pointed out, the measure of extraordinary wealth used to be if Bill Gates could afford to pick up a $100 bill he dropped. Well, Bezos is worth 1.5 Bill Gateses, or 2 Zuckerbergs, or 50 Oprahs. So if he dropped a $28,000 bill, he would lose money stopping to pick it up. I don't really have a joke here. I just wanted to remind you how filthy, stinking rich my old pal Jeffy Boy is.
That may be one of my favorite reports. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. It is my birthday, so come out and see us. That's not exactly what it says on my little piece of paper, but that's the idea. My birthday is coming up. It's this Friday, and you are all invited. Come help me celebrate my birthday with a live broadcast at Chandler's Crab House, right?
That's right down on South Lake Union. And it actually says on your piece of paper, no singing.
It does.
You saw that
I should have learned that.
The whole gang's going to be out there. We'll be down there 5:30 to 9:30. You can come for the entire thing. You can come for part of it. It's all free to attend. All you have to do is RSVP at KZOK.com/Danny's birthday.
You can come for some of it. You can come small of it. But the important thing is that you come. So we'll be waiting there for you. And you can RSVP at KZOK.com/Danny's birthday.
Exactly.
We found out that one of the castles used in the filming of Game of Thrones is up for sale.
Yeah.
It's not that expensive. You know, it's not cheap, for example, but as far as castles go, it's under $1 million.
Yeah, no, that is, you'd think they were all $20 million, $50 million.
Yeah, exactly. I guess the difference is there's a lot of upkeep in a castle.
Just so you know how weird it is, like that the castle is under $1 million. Charlie Sheen's house is going up on the market for $22 million.
Wow.
So for $22 million, you can get that guy's Den of Iniquity. Or for less than $1 million, you can get one of the castles from Game of Thrones. I would prefer the Game of Thrones. You can't go into Charlie Sheen's old house with like a pressure hose and clean it off, you know. But $22 million for one, a castle under $1 million.
Well, the problem with castles,
the heating bill's got to be outrageous, right?
Yep, the heating is just awful. The upkeep, it's not all that practical. But you know, I'm with you, Danny. I know this is one of your dreams. It would be super cool to own a castle.
Would be super cool to own a castle.
Just impractical.
I looked into them. I looked into private islands, which are crazy impractical because the good ones, if you buy them, they're you still have to bring electricity and plumbing.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's a show on TV right now called Island Hunters, and you can just look them up. You could Google islands for sale. You'd be surprised. It's probably 10,000 for sale at any moment.
But most of them, right, the caveat is that you do put power and water.
Right. Some of them have all those things, but now they're not cheap anymore.
Right. Well, what is something impractical other than a castle that you would like to own, Danny?
Well, tons of things, but one got mentioned offhand this morning, and that'd be the Spruce Goose.
Oh.
I think it was the world's biggest plane. I don't know if that's still true, but it's certainly the world's biggest wooden plane.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I would definitely own the Spruce Goose.
And yes, very impractical.
Very impractical.
It's not like, oh, honey, I'm going to go get some milk. I'll be right back. Taking out the Spruce Goose.
I'm going to go take the Spruce Goose to the 7-Eleven. Nope, that's not what's going to happen.
Well, you guys listening, what is something impractical that you would like to own? What is it? Call now, 800-252-1025, or text your answer to 90627 now.
You know, a castle that has been used in the show Game of Thrones came up for sale for under $1 million. You'd think great deal, super impractical to own. I have looked at private islands, also super impractical, but you could do it if you had a good job. What is something impractical that you would like to own? 1-800-252-1025 or text, my friends, to 90627.
We'll start out with Trucker Andy in Olympia.
Hey, Trucker Andy.
Morning, Danny.
What's up, man?
It's been a while. I want an F-14 Tomcat.
Aha, you want your own F-14 Tomcat. Not bad.
No,
What would you
same-
do with it, though?
Yeah, same thing. It's not like you're taking it out to get some milk
Well,
and eggs.
I've looked up a lot of the things on the F-18 because
Yeah.
that's what the Blue Angels fly,
the
and they're
Hornet?
flying right next to my house all weekend long. They're kind of freaking me out. I thought, how do you fly anywhere? Where's the gas tank in that crazy thing? Like, where
Yeah.
do you fill it up? They can do 3,000 kilometers,
Crazy.
and I thought they could break the sound barrier. They can go almost twice that. They can do
Wow.
like 1,800 miles an hour or something lunacy like that.
Is there something impractical you would like to own? Call and let us know. 800-252-1025 or text in 90627. Good morning to Sam and Everett.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, good morning, you guys. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for asking. What do you got for us?
Well, as a little kid, we toured the Mount Palomar Observatory in California, and we actually got to look through it way back then. So I'd like to own that.
Well, it's yours. It's just that easy. I'm gonna give that to you. I did a movie, one of the only movies I've ever done, called Corvette Summer, and in it is this crazy lunatic Corvette that Mark Hamill is hunting for the whole movie. I'd like to get that Corvette. It's crazy because it's all custom and crazy looking. You should see it, and I'd love to have that back.
What about James calling from Bothell? What is something impractical you would like to own?
Hey, James.
Good morning, all. Yeah, hey, Danny, last year we talked about the forest of Space Needles.
Yeah.
And just to own the Space Needle would be phenomenal.
Yeah, but the question is, what do you want to own that's impractical? And I think the Space Needle makes perfect sense. I totally want to own the Space Needle. You and I can go in at 50-50, James.
Just a little bit of upkeep.
Yeah, especially now with all the glass floors.
Yeah.
And Paul comes over and marches around the floor, scuffs up my floors.
Yeah, you're going to need a lot of Windex.
A lot of Windex.
I don't do windows. You're going to hear that.
You are screwed if you don't do windows.
Andrew in Kent says he would love to own the Moonlight Bunny Ranch, and the most impractical part would be that his wife would not find that to be a very good idea. TJ in Linwood texted into 90627. He wants a hydroplane, so he saw the boats out there racing this weekend. He wants one for himself.
What about this weekend would make you want to own one of those? They're just so dangerous, man.
Yeah.
That one guy flipped over completely, landed on his belly, and kept going. That's craziness.
What is something impractical you would like to own? 800-252-1025 or text in 90627.
I'd grab George Harrison's, and I don't know why particularly this one, but I just happened to be looking at it, and it was amazing. George Harrison's old home called Friars Park, I believe it was.
Okay.
And my guess is it's 60,000 square feet.
Oh.
Man, but it was done all right, and it's got all these gardens that George Harrison, because George fancied himself a gentleman gardener.
Yeah.
So it's a 150-room, like, castle-type place
Right.
with several gardens. I would totally own that, and then when I was done killing the gardens, I'd think of something else to do with that.
You just need a massive staff to help you out with that place. You
Well,
couldn't-
lucky for me, I happen to have a massive staff.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. You should see it, man. It's
Yeah,
massive.
I don't know.
Paul, what is something impractical you would like to own?
I really want a swimming pool, even though I realize like it's a lot of maintenance, a lot of upkeep, and I'm only going to use it a handful of times because we live in like rainy, cold, dreary Seattle. But during the summertime, when it's nice out like this, man, I would love a swimming pool.
Also, you should put it in some version of indoors. Because then you'll use it a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I'm dreaming, yeah, I want an indoor heated swimming pool.
Yeah, you do. You most certainly do. You're dreaming, it's good to go.
I was showing Paul a house I found online that was in Port Orchard. Is that where it was? Oh my gosh, Becky, this beautiful house right on the water, its own dock, its own little beachfront, totally affordable. It just means getting on a ferry every day, which with our hours.
No,
very
don't do.
impractical.
And how far is it from here?
An hour?
Yeah, but you're gonna be it's about an hour.
No, I mean no, don't do it.
Right.
An hour to and from work, and that's before the ferry breaks down.
Right, that's if you have no issues, no weather, no mechanical issues.
And why would that happen?
Well, that
why
happens
would you
all
ever?
the time.
All the time that happens.
People texting into 90627, they want a submarine, their very own tank. Barney from Seattle would love to have a Zamboni.
Oh, a Zamboni.
Mike's in Bremerton staring at an aircraft carrier, the USS Kitty Hawk he'd love to have. Why not?
Well, for giant boats, then I want to go with a Bezos boat. I want Jeff Bezos boat. Now, the impractical abilities are that I can't afford it, even if he just said, here, have it. I couldn't. I
You
could
can't afford to put fuel in it.
No, I can't afford
moor
it. And it's so big, it needs captains, it needs crew, it needs a chef, it needs all that. But the cool part is, There's a submarine on the back of it.
See, is that his or is that Paul Allen's?
Paul Allen has a submarine.
Sub on
but
but his isn't on the back. Yeah, it's separate.
Right,
No,
he
I
has
think this is Bezos.
I can't
bigger
keep our rich
submarine.
guy straight.
Me either.
One other texter says they want to own the Hollywood Walk of Fame so they could finally give Danny a star. And why not for his birthday this Friday? They'll bring the star out to Chandler's Crab House.
That's awesome. I will see. Well, how can you bring the star?
I don't really know how they're going to do it.
You can do it, but
they're being
it's
impractical.
the thought that counts. So come on out and we'll discuss how cool I am.
Tori, what is something impractical you'd like to own?
I'd like a life-size bust of Barry Gibb and the hair.
Super creepy.
You went from kind of she's weird, but she's cute. What the hell? And that's leapt over the line to creepy.
Derek, what's something impractical you'd like to own?
A diamond mine. Those things are pricey. This way would save a few bucks.
Yeah, it's totally pricey. The kid needs a diamond. He needs a diamond.
Thanks for your calls and texts. We'll be right back with the news. Three men were injured in a drive-by shooting overnight in a Burien neighborhood, according to the King County Sheriff's Office. Police and medics responded about 8:30 when one of the victims had called 911 to say that he and two other men had been shot. Victims told police they had tried to get help at a nearby medical facility, but that building was closed. The men were all shot in the leg, are all expected to survive, but they are not cooperating with investigators.
Now, that doesn't sound coincidental to me, that everybody's been shot in the legs.
Yeah, it's weird.
Isn't it weird? Is it a guy, in my opinion, here's what's happening. Are you with me? It's a guy walks in and he wants to shoot people but not kill them.
Right.
But how good of an aim are you under pressure that you get them? That it might just been, happy circumstance, if you will.
Or maybe he was a really bad shot murderer.
Well,
Trying to get center mass and get the legs.
that's side one, right?
Yeah.
Trying to kill him didn't work out. Side two is got him in the legs on purpose. It's weird.
A 44-year-old Seattle man was killed over the weekend when he fell some 50 feet while hiking on Buck Mountain near Leavenworth. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office had received a signal from an emergency beacon. 2:30 in the afternoon Saturday sent a rescue team to the area. They located 3 hikers at about 7,000 feet. One of them was deceased, wrapped in an emergency blanket. Since there was no place to land, they had to get help from other agencies. The Navy crew was able to arrive just after midnight and hoist the body from the mountain, and the 2 hiking partners made their way out on foot.
The emergency beacon, is that something they have with them or something they stumbled across and, at a ranger base or something?
No, it's something you're supposed to have with you when you hike elevations. of this
Smart
nature.
move.
Yeah. Rescue efforts are underway and evacuation efforts as well after a deadly earthquake rocked Indonesia, killing almost 100 people. 6.9 magnitude, very popular tourist area. And they say the majority of those killed were hit by falling debris from collapsing buildings. 20,000 people have been displaced. Venezuela's president is speaking out after a strange drone attack took place.
Strange drone attack. The very least strange.
Not like all the normal drone attacks
Totally
that,
different.
that we see on
No,
politicians.
but different from all attacks
Yeah.
I've never seen a drone attack. I've seen Lee Harvey Oswald, people like that. I've seen attacks, but I've never seen this.
Well, according to Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, it was an assassination attempt. They tried to assassinate me.
Who did? Colombia?
That's just the quote. I don't know exactly who the they is.
Yeah, there's a good chance Colombia, but
that's what
nobody knows for sure. Do you see that his bodyguards, whoever, but it's, by the way, pretty damn slow, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But though there was nobody shooting, they had to decide to take a thing. But they have these mats. They ran out there and they unfolded these things that looked like they were for the beach, and they're bulletproof. And they just made a circle around that guy.
Oh, wow.
It was wild looking.
It was very odd, and I was thinking the same thing. Like, what are those materials? What is that mat?
I'll tell you exactly what it looks like so everybody out there will know. When you go to pick up your kid and they're laying down on a mat in kindergarten, it's those.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like. You don't know those aren't bulletproof. You ever shot one of them? No.
I have not, no.
But that's what it looks
Shoot up
like.
any of the kindergarten mats.
Good.
Well, Maduro is blaming rightist detractors, he says, are linked to Colombia and Florida. He says...
Colombia and Florida. That's a match.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is Florida the name of a place in South America?
No, but
No.
I think that's where people who leave Venezuela end up, is in Colombia, or they come to the States and end up in Florida.
Well, those are the ones who he believes perpetrated the crime.
I'm not positive I believe any of it, to be honest with you. I did not like the looks of it. I thought it might be some kind of stunt.
Who knows? I mean, they've got issues. They've got some real serious issues.
Yes, they do.
Chicago also has some real issues. They had a terrible weekend. A lot of people had gone to Chicago for Lollapalooza, but about several miles away is where the attention's being focused on. Violence, 60 injured, 10 dead.
My goodness. Yeah, for one day, that's a great deal.
Even in Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anywhere, when you go, oh, yeah, what about San Salvador? No, not necessarily 10 dead in a day, no.
Right.
We're bringing that on ourselves.
Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold, if y'all haven't figured that part out.
Oh, I thought we covered for you spotlessly. They'd have never known.
Nobody knew, except for the hacking in the background. Was it gun violence or what kind of violence?
In a 3-hour span, 60 people injured, 10 people dead. They said 25 were injured in 5 mass shootings. Gang violence is mostly to blame.
Yeah.
Shooters are taking advantage of the warm summer weather, large gatherings, and witnesses said, they shoot you. They don't even run away. They just walk.
Yeah, it's not the urgency that it was. I was watching a news report on that. It's completely out of control.
That's like the craziest statement I've ever heard. Shooters are taking advantage of the warm weather.
Yes.
Like the windows are down anyway. I might as well put my gun
Well,
out.
if you think about that, the murder rate is more than double what it will be when it's freezing out. When it's freezing out, they make babies. Babies will go up through the roof, but not killings. Killings will go down by 50%.
Wow.
When it drops below, what was the thing I read? Something like 40 degrees, whatever it was. When it drops below a certain degree, the killings go down by half. And not just in Chicago, and on the East Coast, anywhere it gets freezing.
We are getting another update to the peculiar crime of the man who stole the little shark.
Oh, okay, yeah, dressed it up like a baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Called it Junior.
He has given an interview, and the man who stole the little baby shark, I don't think it was a baby, it was just a really little shark.
And did they dress it up like a baby or just put it in a stroller?
No, I dressed it up like a baby.
Gave it a little baby blanket and a binky?
Yes.
Yeah.
To all of that.
He says he is a marine activist, and he stole that little shark, because it was an emergency. He did it because it needed, so he wanted to take it and give it a proper environment.
Well, he's a lion sack potatoes.
Yeah.
For sure. Although
crazy.
And this just came over my news feed, in other words, my phone. But Dwayne The Rock is taking a huge hit from ocean activists and stuff for posing in an aquarium. I cannot find out where this guy did anything wrong, but all sorts of people are mad at The Rock. That fish doesn't belong behind glass. Belongs in the ocean. Rock.
You can't be mad at The Rock.
You can't be mad at The Rock, especially when he's our next president.
Yeah.
In Michigan, there's a little town called Colon, and it has a new taxi service.
Where is this?
Colon, Michigan.
Never heard of it.
Spelled colon, but I don't think they pronounce it colon, Michigan.
I do. I think most of Michigan is in Colon, Michigan.
You never want to hitchhike through Colon.
So we'll call it Colon.
Very visual joke for you.
Colon, Michigan has a new taxi service since you don't want to hitchhike through the Colon.
Right.
Yeah. Thumbs up on that, Danny.
Thank you.
4 wheels, 4 legs, good gas mileage. It is an Amish kid who is running what he calls Amish Uber. Ride sharing.
How do you get a hold of him? Like you can't call or text or use an app?
You flag him down.
Oh.
Really? Amy and I were just watching, I think it was Amy and I, if it's not Amy, it's you guys. There was an Amish lady all dressed up in Amish gear, and she's pushing a lawnmower across the lawn, except I noticed right away, it's motorized.
Oh.
Why, if you can have that, can't you have a car? This is stupid, Amish lady.
Electricity and a phone.
Yeah, what is up with all that? Well, I see a bunch of them are liar faces about electricity.
Oftentimes when you see those people, they're dressed like Amish, but they're Mennonites. They're not actually Amish. They dress the same.
Right.
But they use electricity for basic needs. But the Amish do not use any electricity whatsoever.
I don't believe them. Telling you right now, I don't believe them. And if you were to check, you'll find that's not true. They do it all the time. They have a light that, I don't know what it's telling you. It's on the roof of the barn. Maybe it's for the lightning rod or whatever. Who do you think you're kidding, Mr. Amish face?
All right, back to this kid. He has Amish Uber going on, and the tourists are eating it up.
Yeah.
You do need to flag him down because he does not have a cell phone. But he's got a horse that is a breed called a Morgan, who is apparently very friendly.
Yeah, I had one. It has a huge neck. That's the idiosyncrasy or whatever of a Morgan. It's a giant neck.
Well, they said it's super fun. So if you go to Colon, Michigan.
Yeah.
If you ever do.
Just drive up on in there.
Yep. Take the Amish Uber.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend Joe in Chicago, I don't think he likes how we were characterizing the violence in Chicago. He texted in and said, I'm in Chicago and I was shot and killed twice just today.
Wow. Let's see how dangerous it is there.
So funny to follow this up with a story about Colon, Michigan, or Minnesota, wherever that was. Do you guys remember?
Hey, have you been sucking on NyQuil this morning? Because if not, maybe you should. So we didn't want to go into Colon, so we took a left. And where the hell did we end up? I'm not even sure where we end up yet, but it's someplace gross.
You guys remember we've had not one but two stories about people smuggling gold where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, yeah, in Michigan.
Well, one of them was in Canada. The other one I think was in Philadelphia. But they were
It's close, though.
Two different people hiding it, smuggling it, selling it on the black market. Well, this one dude had been busted, and he tried to sell it all on the black market. And when they busted him, they said, well, you stole X amount, and you sold it for X amount, but it was actually worth Y amount. And so now he had to go to court to see if stealing it and then the gold prices fluctuate.
While it was up there?
Yes. Well,
The price changed while he was holding it?
Yes.
Yeah. Especially because it was duty-free. Didn't have to pay any taxes.
I'm pretty sure it was not duty-free.
That's what I heard, man. You don't know. This guy's an expert. Remember I got 8 large coins up my nose?
Yeah.
I could take a lot of gold in a lot of places.
So he smuggled it where the sun don't shine.
Yeah.
And then sold it. And they said, well, you got to pay back $190. And he said, when I stole it, it was only worth $160. And I was only actually able to sell it for $130. The judges said, okay, $130, pay it back.
So the original amount, the amount he swear. Why are we taking his word? He shoves. Well, I don't even want to say what he shoves and where he shoves it. But why would you take his word? Your Honor, it's not 160. No, it's 160. No, 130. Oh, all right. It doesn't seem right to me.
And does he have the ability to pay back at any price?
He hasn't paid any of his fine back. Yeah. And so they said, pay the fine back, $130, or go to jail. And
I'm the only guy I know that's paid back my restitution.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, because everybody else was a criminal and I was just moonlighting.
Well, he has a house, and they said, why haven't you put your house up and paid back this amount? And he said, well, I'm waiting for the price of my house to go up.
Yeah, okay. I would get a job and work hard. Don't lose your house to this kind of stupidity. This guy's a big idiot. I bet it took him forever to get a house, or maybe his mommy died and left it to him. Either way, don't lose your house.
Well, things have been a little crazy in Hawaii. We've had that volcano going on for ages.
With magma.
Magma.
Okay.
Still fun.
Yep.
As if it couldn't get worse, there is now a major hurricane cutting a path towards the active volcano.
And that won't help?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like the
It
water.
could blow it out.
The rain could put out the magma, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it works that way, that the rain will put out a volcano.
It's not rain, though. It's, what'd you say? It was not a
Hurricane.
Hurricane.
Yeah.
Can that do stuff to the lava? And, I mean, who knows?
You guys are clearly not scientists.
No?
Oh,
What gave it away?
Scientists are speculating that low atmospheric pressure from Hurricane Hector could restart major eruptions.
So it's the opposite of what Dr. Paul and I thought.
Yes. Scientist Paul and scientist Dr. Danny.
Yeah.
The hurricane...
You're sure the rain won't help? I mean, it helps with forest fires. Why doesn't it help with
does.
volcanoes?
Yeah, no, he's right.
It's the 120...
I concur.
Sustained
Dr.
mile per
Paul.
hour winds.
Yeah.
This has been going on for a while. Those eruptions started in May, have covered almost 14 square miles of the island's surface, destroying 700 homes at this point.
That's amazing, 700 homes. I find that shocking that, that there had to be some, because it goes off this crazy thing. How do you not know, hey, don't build houses there. Let's not build 700. 700?
700.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Like that's just kind of the last thing they need. It's really hurting tourism. I'd go.
To Hawaii?
To Hawaii?
Yeah, I'd totally go to Hawaii.
Got to get some of those magma selfies.
I'm not bothering with any of that crap.
No?
Although one time I did ride down the mountainside. It's a big touristy thing you can do. It's the side of the volcano, and there's snow up there.
Haleakala.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Rode a bike down there. That seems stupid.
Well, it's better than riding up.
Yeah, totally. Didn't do that.
I'm going to ask a stupid question, but it is the two of you.
Yeah.
14.
Have you ever been shot with a potato gun?
Yeah, 100 times.
Like hit? Like somebody shot it at you and hit
Potato
you?
gun?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Have
haven't?
you seen what they look
No.
like now? They're like bazookas.
They're like
Oh,
cannons.
we're talking different things.
Yeah,
Mine
okay.
is you stick the barrel of a pistol into a potato, snap off the
Oh.
little tiny core that's about the size of a BB. and you
I've
shoot
seen
a guy
those
with it.
too.
Yeah.
But what we had were like potato cans.
No, I've seen those too. I've never even touched one.
Well, a man was knocked unconscious after being shot with a potato gun. This happened on Friday about 6 o'clock at night. He said he was just driving down the road when pow, he gets popped in the face with a potato.
Yeah.
And realized it must have been those pesky kids. Who would it be shooting a potato gun on a Friday night to people just randomly driving by?
It's those pesky kids.
It's
for
pesky.
sure.
Yeah, get them off your yard.
They are now hoping that there's some witnesses that will come forward so they can catch the potato
Yeah,
perpetrator.
I've seen these things. So you could get hurt with one of these things.
Yeah.
And they are done. Maybe I saw one on a science show. Are they done with some kind of gas propulsion? Put their eye out.
Definitely.
I meant of the potato. Put its eye out.
Remember back not too long ago when the International House of Pancakes decided to shock the world and change its name to
Yes, I do.
International
IHOB.
IHOB. Well, when it first started, we took it all very seriously, and then they said, oh, it's just, IHOB, it's going to be burgers. It's not an actual name change, but we are going to start selling burgers.
Right.
And it didn't work because, like, people were just mad at them. I didn't go get a burger. Did you get a burger?
No, I did not go get a burger.
Turns out most people did.
Really?
Yep.
Like I was just saying, it did work for them. It helped them out a lot.
In what sense did it work?
IHOP says it has sold 4 times more burgers, and burger sales have now remained stable in the weeks following this. They said they saw a huge jump. This is their most successful marketing campaign of all time.
Wow. Really? More than Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity?
That's a different place.
Denny's.
More than Moons Over My Hammy?
Also a different place. So
Well,
yeah,
then I'm not going to any of
apparently
these places.
this is their best
big one,
marketing
yeah.
one ever.
Yep. They said initially it seemed like people were pretty mad, but then they
I'm
said,
mad, International House of Butt Faces. There's your IHOB.
It's not what the B stands for.
I'm telling you, it does.
There is a world famous chef who has died. His nickname was the Chef of the Century. Joël Robuchon has died. He had a record-setting 32 Michelin stars. French chef, regarded as one of the world's best. And he died this morning at the age of 73 in Switzerland.
It's all them fancy sauces.
Yeah, they say that he was the French chef who really introduced accessible French cooking, that all the sauces and all the different weird things that French cooking involves, he actually made it for the common man.
What about Julia Child? Isn't that what she did?
She didn't really have any formal training.
Oh, I've got no training.
That's pretty good.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I mean, she was a influential chef, but this was like real deal French trained.
I got to go with Julia Child, real deal, whether she's trained in anything or not.
Yeah, plus I've heard of her. I never heard of this
I never
guy
heard of this guy. I never had this guy souffle.
What about Jacques Pepin?
That's who I was thinking about. I thought
Yeah.
that's who this was. Good
No,
call. Thank you.
I like
Jacques
that guy.
Pepin is still alive.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, don't kill him like you tried
I
to
don't want to kill him. I
Does
like
he
that
have
guy.
training?
Yes.
Very upset about this training thing.
But he makes French cooking accessible.
Yeah.
He does. Everything's an omelet, pretty much.
No, that says it right there.
Hey, the iHeartRadio Music Festival is back September 21st and 22nd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights of some of the biggest names in music on one stage, with performances from Fleetwood Mac, Leonard Skinner, and many more. The world will be listening on iHeartRadio, and you could actually be there. You're listening for the keyword. You text it to 200-200 for your chance to win a trip for 2. Get all the info at KZOK.com, and you'll have more chances to text and win throughout the day. Yeah, I realize I My voice is cracking. So we're going to take a very short break and be right back with music, news, entertainment, and sports. Geddy Lee has a new book coming out all about his love for the bass. This is called Geddy Lee's Big Beautiful Book of Bass.
Nice. I like it.
It'll be hitting bookshelves on November 4th.
I think you should have called it All About That Bass. I like that.
I think that might be taken already.
Too bad.
In the book, Geddy Lee will detail his own collection of vintage basses, which date from the 50s, going up all the way to the 80s. And this is a book that also has other famous bassists' interviews that he's done. Led Zeppelin's John Paul Jones, Bill Wyman of the Rolling Stones, Adam Clayton of U2, Robert Trujillo from Metallica, Rainbow, Primus, more people. He interviews them, and it's all highlighted in his book.
Let me see. Who's a famous bass player that might have been some help in getting his career going? You know, because the kid was waffling.
And
so I said, hey, you.
He'd be in the book, right?
Yeah, you'd think. Are you kidding? I'm sure I was his idol.
A guitar from the Beatles' last ever gig at the Cavern Club in 1963 is set to be sold at auction. This is an Australian-made Maton Master Sound MS500.
Sure.
That is expected to fetch between, looks at about $500,000.
Okay, then they better have lots of pictures of John Lennon or George Harrison playing it. And here's the thing, George Harrison, way better guitar player than John Lennon. And John Lennon would have, and they did agree with me. But you get a picture of that guitar in John Lennon's lap, and it's worth twice what it's worth in George Harrison.
Well, it was used for the studio recording of this song, I Want to Hold Your Hand. And they said it's a very special link to the early days of the Beatles. It's a lot of loot.
Yeah. You could buy a castle.
Yeah. Corey Taylor, Fozzy, and Phil Campbell of Motorhead will provide the music during a new cruise, Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea.
Wow. The Rock and Wrestling Rager.
Yep.
My goodness.
It sounds like drunken shenanigans.
It does. It sounds like drunken shenanigans all the way around.
This will feature Corey Taylor of Slipknot and Stone Sour. Chris Jericho has a band called Fozzy, a bunch of heavy metal type dudes, and then wrestling shenanigans, all on a cruise ship.
I dig it. I just wonder, how does the cruise ship make money? Because they can fill that cruise without all the shenanigans. And that's, what is that, a $500,000 payday for all of those guys put together, plus putting up the stages, putting up the wrestling rings, all that stuff?
I've heard some of these, the way they work is you just get a cut of the cruise bookings.
Right, but you don't if you don't go, and the boat's still full. All these boats are full. I guess maybe people trying to do goodwill. Hey, remember, we're the cruise line that did that thing.
Yeah.
For the past 7 years, iHeartRadio has partnered with the international advocacy organization Global Citizen to help end extreme poverty around the world. Listen to this here very show tomorrow about 7:35 when we unveil the incredible talent performing at two special Global Citizen events that are happening this year. One is in New York, the other is in Johannesburg, South Africa. Find out how you can become a global citizen and be part of these two historic events tomorrow morning right here, 7:35, exclusively from iHeartRadio and KZOK.
So the Global Citizen, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That's not the thing where you get through customs faster. But that's what it's called, isn't it?
Global Entry.
Global Entry, maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
So this is a charity that iHeart teams up with that's fighting poverty.
Extreme poverty all over the world. I got it. New York City, Johannesburg, I'm all about it.
This morning, we found out the actress who played the beloved Mrs. Garrett on Different Strokes and Facts of Life has died. Charlotte Rae was 92 years old. She had played the Drummond family's kooky housekeeper, Edna Garrett, on Different Strokes. And she was so popular, she got her own spin-off with Facts of Life, where she was the same character heading up an all-girls boarding school. Now, that show was pretty darn successful, so much so that they're talking about bringing back the Facts of Life.
Really?
Charlotte Rae will not be part of it, having passed away this morning. Leonardo DiCaprio and Jessica Biel are in talks with Sony Pictures Television to revive the show.
Not to be in it.
They both have production companies. Right. And my understanding is that they would just be producing this.
Cool.
And just the facts of life right now, not different strokes. We'll see.
Todd Bridges would be beside himself if they bring back different strokes.
Jessica Lange said she's ready to return to American Horror Story. She revealed that she'll be taking part in this next season, which is Apocalypse. So this American Horror TV show tends to feature the same actors every single season, even though each storyline is totally different. They're playing a totally different character.
They could even die in one season,
Right.
and they'd be back the next. Right, okay.
Except not this time. This has to be the final season, right? You can't call it Apocalypse and then have another season after that.
Apocalypse number 2.
No,
don't know.
Apocalypse, it didn't work out the first time.
Apocalypse Now did okay, but I don't know that it did
Apocalypse
any spin-offs.
Later?
Yeah.
So Apocalypse, American Horror Story Apocalypse will combine the seasons of Murder House and Coven.
Okay, then.
FX has their TV version of the movie Fargo. Very successful TV show. And somebody a bit unusual has just announced they are going to be joining to star in season 4.
The person's unusual, or it's unusual that they're joining?
Unusual that they're joining, because this is a very dark show, not funny. Chris Rock.
Oh.
You know what it is? He's a fan.
Yeah,
He
probably.
reached out, or they heard some interview where he said what a big fan he is, because you're right, that is a very strange coupling.
The show will depict Chris Rock's syndicate and an Italian family in an uneasy peace after they traded their eldest sons to solidify their partnership.
With an Italian family? What do you want? A rigatoni? That's my impression. Thank you.
I don't really even know why they had to hire him. Why couldn't they just hire
got
you to be the voice?
That was the white sheep of the family.
Russia has appointed action movie star Steven Seagal as a special envoy for humanitarian ties with the United States.
Swear to God, they did.
They did.
So we've got the worm, Dennis Rodman, handling things in North Korea.
But
and,
we all know that the worm's an idiot.
Right.
Like, I don't think the Russians know this guy's an idiot.
The foreign ministry announced the move on Saturday via Facebook, saying that Steven Seagal's portfolio in the unpaid position would be to facilitate relations between Russia and the United States, including cooperation in culture, arts, public, and youth exchanges.
There are very few people in the world more foolish than Donald Trump, but one of them would be Steven Seagal. This has got to be the longest conversations ever when those two sit in front of each other.
Bit odd. Recently, we learned that Fox was working on a 24 prequel.
Yeah.
Now it turns out the network is working on 2 projects based on the action thriller. The first will be based on the early days of Jack Bauer. The second is actually a legal drama, which will move the iconic ticking clock real-time format into an entirely different genre.
Wow, weird.
Not exactly sure what that means.
I'm not sure what it means. I never saw that show.
It was really good.
I heard it was really good. I don't know why I couldn't get around to seeing it, but I could not.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It seems like something you would have been into.
Maybe because I'm so bitterly jealous of Kiefer Sutherland. That would be it.
That might be it.
You know, one day we're cleaning trash by the San Diego freeway, being broke and being stupid. Next day, somebody is Jack Bauer. Somebody else still cleaning trash next to the freeway, that bastard.
Scandal has struck the most magical place on earth.
No.
A lot of people are very upset with Minnie Mouse. There's a video that was posted to social media that showed Minnie Mouse accepting a man's marriage proposal.
Yeah, I wondered about this. I only saw the picture, but I have known a couple of people who worked at the park and were in characters. I knew this one girl like well, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And she would never, ever, ever admit that that was her. I mean, there's the costume in your closet. I've seen it, but she would not admit that she was Chip and or Dale.
You can't ruin the magic of it.
I can ruin that costume a little bit, if you know what I'm saying.
So this dude...
But that's Mickey's girl.
Yes, and Mickey was there.
Mickey was there?
Yep.
So
And
did
also,
Mickey punch him?
Here's the biggest problem. What'd she say?
Well, I said she accepted the man's marriage
Well,
proposal.
she can't.
She can't talk.
So here's
She
what
can
happened.
shake her head yes.
This dude
That's why he wants
is
to marry her.
filming. He drops to one knee
Yeah.
and asks for her gloved hand in marriage. She appears to accept. The pair have a hug, and then she appears frightened and points over to the corner where Mickey Mouse, her lifelong partner, has witnessed the entire ordeal. And that's when the dude says, "Oh, Mickey, I'm so sorry." Minnie then rushes over to Mickey's side, but he angrily points at the man before storming away. Minnie then appears to lament the decision she made. This has millions of views on social media. And some people are upset that Minnie might have been cheating on Mickey.
I was upset in the beginning when he got down on one knee in the park. He's not supposed to. She's not supposed to. But now she points to the mean rat, and the rat comes over and says, or whatever the rat can say, which is nothing. But he storms off. It's a show.
It's staged.
It's a stage show. Yeah. And I'm down with that. This is not a stage show, but I mean, this is a show. It's cool to do show things. But I don't think the trickery and deceit is necessary.
But it's taking the shine off of the beautiful relationship of Mickey and Minnie Mouse.
Just that I didn't say it as well as you, but that's what I'm saying. They shouldn't have done that.
Mark Wahlberg has a casting call up in Massachusetts looking for real people with tough faces. They're looking for construction workers, blue-collar workers, public
like that.
works.
I was going to say, I got a pretty tough face.
Fishermen, mob guys, etc. for speaking roles and on-camera extras. We don't know exactly what movie this is for, but he's got a couple of different ones in the works.
I think it's a bet. Hey, let's see if we can get a bunch of really tough-looking guys from the South End with their stupid accents and have them show up here and do lines. It'll be hysterical. That's what I think. I think it's a practical joke.
Well, he does have two projects in the works. One is called Wonderland, and the other is Spencer for Hire, based on the 1980s ABC television
Is
series.
Wonderland the John Holmes murders?
The John Holmes murders.
There's two major murders on Wonderland Avenue at Laurel Canyon in Los Angeles, and one of them was John Holmes, the porn star.
Oh.
But that's been like 3 movies. Val Kilmer played it once. But
Nobody can play
they're
him.
always good.
At the box office over the weekend, Tom Cruise held on to the #1 spot and left The World's Kindest Bear in the dust. Which is the toot part?
The bear.
Oh. Well, I was going to say, you saw Mission Impossible and said
It
you
was
liked it.
bitchin'. If you want to take my movie recommendation, I give it 92 thumbs up or some such thing, a bunch of tomatoes, a grape or two.
But Christopher Robin, no?
Yeah, it's not for me. My kids are all grown. I'm sure it's very good for you. You going to take your kids, Paul?
Yeah, I think we'll go see it.
Yeah, if it's you got small kids, it looks like it might be awesome.
The third place movie went to The Spy Who Dumped Me with Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon. That opened to $12.4 million, followed by Mamma Mia and The Equalizer.
All right.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports
brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY, 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Before yesterday, Kyle Seager had gone 21 games without a home run.
Wow.
They said, you know what, dude, you got to turn it around. So he did. He hit number 17 and number 18 yesterday. And the Seattle Mariners got a 6-3 win over the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yay.
New series up for today. We've starting a series with the Texas Rangers. First pitch, Root Sports, 5:05 in Texas. Wade LeBlanc versus Martin Perez.
Hopefully we'll see some more dingers from Kyle Seager.
It would be nice.
Not just him alone. You can't just rely on him by yourself.
Right.
The Sounders beat Minnesota 2-1. Their next match is Sunday at 7, FC Dallas. The Seattle Storm, Breanna Stewart scored 20, Sue Bird 14, and the Storm clinched the first WNBA playoff berth this season with their victory over the Minnesota Lynx. They are playing the New York Liberty as we speak. In fight action, Conor McGregor's long-awaited return to the UFC has been announced. October 6th, Vegas, baby, against undefeated lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Sure.
Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, I had that for dinner last night.
I thought it would never happen, and Dana White had said it would never happen.
And I said when you guys said it, and I said, no, it's totally going to happen. Of course, you're not getting this a huge moneymaker. And I read that in today's paper. I see it, and it says Dana White's announcing like it never happened.
Yeah. Yep. So now do you think that entire attack was staged?
No, I just don't think he ever cared. It's the UFC. What do you care?
Yeah.
If he killed somebody, maybe, but nobody got hurt.
Dana White did make the announcement during a press conference, and that this will be UFC 229 inside T-Mobile Arena. He has not fought since November of 2016 in the UFC.
Right.
So,
Now, in the UFC, is he undefeated too? Or is he defeated?
21-3.
21-3, which, by the way, is not a terrible record. The UFC, the other guy being undefeated, is kind of unheard of. I'd be shocked if that guy has more than 12 fights. Do you know that guy's record? Maybe 13.
I do not.
Oh, yeah, because there's just so many ways to lose a fight in that cage.
I'm surprised I don't see that right here, but I do not. Khabib Nurmagomedov.
I mean, Ronda Rousey became the biggest star of the UFC. Girl or boy, it didn't matter. She was the biggest. She was 12-0, 12 fights, and then she made all that noise.
He's 26-0.
In the UFC?
That's just his professional record. I don't know. That's UFC.com stats.
That is amazing. Ooh, Connor's in a bit of trouble, I think. When's this fight?
October 6th.
All right, I'll watch.
Well, on Friday, we are having Danny Bonaduce's birthday bash.
Because that guy's awesome.
You are awesome, and the party's going to be awesome, too. We're going to have free breakfast pastries and music. We'll have giveaways. Of course, we're all going to be down there 5:30 to 9:30. You're welcome to stop by for part of it or all of it. All you have to do is RSVP, KZOK.com/Danny's birthday.
That's the big one, just so we know you're there. Then once you do that, all that good stuff is free. So KZOK.com/Danny's birthday.
That's exactly right.
I scared myself.
Sports this morning was brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Tomorrow on the show at 7:20, give you another chance to win a pair of tickets to Hangerfest, August 25th at the Museum of Flight. 7:50, a filthy forecast, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, my friends.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Very nice. You know, just on this floor alone here in the iHeartRadio building, there's probably at any given moment 40 disc jockeys, and the battles go on. But I will tell you who's undefeated in the fight of the disc jockey.
Yeah, who?
That's my friend Steve Slayton. 92-0. What the hell? Anyway, Steve Slayton is going to, as soon as he wraps up his last fight, he's going to walk into the studio. He's going to play a whole bunch of classic rock and roll. So we should get out of his way. Bye.
This traffic report is brought to you by Taco Bell. In Redmond on 520 westbound at the Lake Sammamish Parkway, we have an incident there currently blocking the off-ramp. And in Seattle on I-5 northbound, as you approach 520, we have an incident there blocking the left lane. When you've had a morning for just a